Here we go, guys. I actually got nervous tonight. I normally don't get nervous before I go on air. Tonight, I actually got a little nervous, so I hope you'll bear with me, and I'll tell you why. It is very rare, very, very rare that I yield to the masses. Typically, I have an arc. I know I'm following the arc, and I go on the arc, and I don't get off of the arc. I'm taking a quick detour off the arc, and I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it because it's that important. Candace Owens had a picture she put up last week. It caused me to have a mild freak out, I think was the most commonly described way. I had friends and emailers tell me, you had a mild freak out. I said, well, it wasn't mild. You remember the picture? I'll pull it up in a minute if you don't. It was the picture of the plastic bits in the backseat of the SUV. And I looked at that picture and I thought, okay, this case has taken a new turn. And then last night, well, I'll get to last night. I want to open the way I normally do. I was a little out of order last time. I'm going to do the opening statement. I'm going to move into it. And I want to give everybody a heads up on this opening statement real quick. Oh my gosh. I wrote this today. Usually I'm a day or two ahead of time on the openings. I actually wrote this one today, and I wrote it on the heels of the TPUSA event. I'll call it an event. It's a debacle. It was a disaster. I wrote it on the heels of the TPUSA event. And I thought, okay, I got to say what I want to say. Some of you guys might not like what I say, but I don't care. I'm going to be who I am. You guys can join me for the ride, or you can get off the exit. That's fine. I'm going to be who I am. I'm tired of pretending that what's happening is okay. So with that, let me give you my 4 days before Christmas opening. Oh, I almost forgot. Happy winter solstice. It happened about 10 o'clock this morning, Central Time. That's when the sun is the farthest north it will get on an annual basis. That's why today's the shortest. Is it north? Is that right? Yeah, that's why today's the shortest day of the year. But anyway, I'll move past this. Here's your opening statement. A little over 2,000 years ago, tiny little village in the Middle East, an otherwise unremarkable event took place. A baby was born. Scholars don't agree on the precise day or even the precise year it took place, but most scholars and historians agree this particular baby was born. He lived in the area an estimated 30 to 35 years. Much of his life was lived in obscurity. We have scant details from even his most ardent supporters of anything he did before adulthood. Like much of his childhood, his activities in adulthood are also thinly recorded. During his 3+ years of public life, it is unknown whether anyone actually took the time to record any of it. If they did, we don't have it. We either don't know where it is or it didn't get written down at all. He had a handful of vehement followers who, after he died, took his message around to most of the known world. They're recorded to have made it as far away as southern India to the east and Spain to the west. 11 of the man's 12 closest followers were put to death for telling others about him. As they started to die off, somebody decided they should start recording in written form what they were saying. What we managed to save from this effort is 4 short narratives, none of them longer than a short novella. We have a few letters written that are both shorter and less detailed when it comes to his life than those 4 short narratives. But it's a good thing someone thought to write down what they were teaching. And others were thoughtful enough to save it. Very few religious movements survive without a common book or set of books from which to draw inspiration and perhaps settle disputes. Many of those writings, of course, became what we call the Bible. The word Bible from the Greek biblia, meaning scroll or papyrus. The Bible depicts what is known in the life of Jesus. It presents his teachings and the teachings of his closest followers as they sought to spread his message around the world. The message was simple. Jesus was born of a virgin woman named Mary. He lived a sinless life. Big error there. He lived a sinless life. He died for the sins committed by everyone else, and he rose from the dead and lives eternally with God in heaven. And here is the linchpin, the key. We also, the rest of us, the ones who committed the sins that put him to death, we can choose to join him eternally in heaven. Most churches decorate for the Christmas season with decorations we universally recognize as signs of Christmas. We sing carols and hymns we universally recognize as the songs of Christmas. There's a mystical, universal component to it. Even many atheists or otherwise non-churchgoers look forward to the Christmas season and decorate their homes and businesses with Christmas cheer. And there's the rub. Everyone loves the warm, inviting, culturally unifying Christmas season. We can practically smell the cinnamon and spice as we see images of Christmas trees trimmed with lights and ornaments. We envision gathering around warm, glowing hearths with cocoa and sugar cookies. We anticipate the childlike wonder of giving and receiving gifts. And it's hard. It's particularly hard in those moments to remember that the offer to join Jesus in heaven must be accepted, and many will never accept it. As culturally unifying as the Christmas season has become, the message of the one whose birth made the season is not unifying at all. His message is exclusive. Some will hear the message and accept it. Others will hear it and reject it. The message is to repent from your sin. Go and sin no more. Change your life. And above all, accept from Jesus forgiveness and the promise of eternal life. Of course, as much as Jesus' message is for anyone, it's not for everyone. Some will hear it and accept it. Some will never hear it. Some will hear it and ignore it. Some will hear it and outright reject it. I've thought of this reality more this Christmas season than I have in my previous 45 Christmases on earth. Something feels different this year, or at least something is different in me this year. In years past, I've noticed the political right has sort of been the side of the aisle trying to conserve some semblance of a Christian identity and Christian heritage in the United States and the Western world. If you closed your eyes, say a year ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, and you pictured a conservative Republican, you could almost smell the pages of the Bible in the picture your mind produced. That's not to say every single conservative Republican was a weekly churchgoer, but on average, they were. Their leaders certainly proclaimed to be. On that topic, it's hard to put my feeling into words, but I have this lingering, nagging feeling I can't ignore. In the lead up to and the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's death, there's been a concerted effort to change that reality. To that end, there's a battle underway. The battle is for the heart and future of America. The old battle lines for the future of America were between the conservative right wing, largely composed of Christians, against the godless left wing. To be a conservative thought leader in America, you almost had to profess a belief in Christ. To run for office, you had to have a picture of yourself carrying a Bible into church. We on the right still face a godless left wing, but the real fight for the future is within the right wing itself. We're fighting for control of our own movement. Nowhere was this more clear than on the stage of TPUSA this weekend. But the fight extends far beyond that stage. If MAGA died with Trump asking if we're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, then TPUSA died by allowing Ben Shapiro to open their conference by throwing a hissy fit about Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. I don't know how to say this tactfully, so I'll just say it the only way I know how to say it. Ben Shapiro despises you. He despises most of us. He thinks the Jesus we follow is a fraud. He assumes Jesus was a liar or worse, and that he died and rotted in his grave. And he's not alone. I won't call them all out by name because most of them didn't take the stage this weekend. But Ben Shapiro is part of a growing movement on the right that not only doesn't want to put America first, they want to put Christians anywhere else but first. Such was the insanity of the entire TPUSA event, such as the insanity of TPUSA in general these days. Why do you think Charlie Kirk said just 2 days before he died that his donors fit all the stereotypes? Why do you think Charlie Kirk said just 2 days before he died that he was left with no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause? Because despite spending years pandering to people like Ben Shapiro and Josh Hammer, who despise Christianity and despise Christians and view us as merely a means to their own end, Charlie never could have any peace. Whatever Charlie was willing to do was never enough. And he knew this wasn't conservatism. He recognized it for what it was. It was a power play. He knew conservatives were being brainwashed and used to prop up the interests of Ben Shapiro, Josh Hammer, and the donors who paid hundreds of millions of dollars propping up those two and more like them. And Charlie was done with it. And I'm done with it. And millions more like me are done with it. Because if this is the future of conservatism in America, you can count me out. I will not be led by anyone who prioritizes anyone other than Jesus Christ and who places any place other than the United States of America in a priority position. It is now a purity test for me. Unless and until candidates tell me they are both Christian and America first, I will not vote for them, period. Politicians have lied about each in the past, being Christian and being America first, but at least their lies disclose their belief that it was important to the voters. We're now being told it doesn't matter, that we don't matter. We're being told we must accept godless, Jesus-denying leadership in our interest groups and at the tops of our tickets. We're being told we must submit to the demands of other countries. We're being told we must fight their wars. We're being told we must pay their bills. And we're being told we must guarantee their survival. And I've had enough of it. Here I stand. I neither can nor will move from this position. And with that, I want to cover a few things tonight. For those of you who have been around since October, we covered accurate energetic systems, the explosion in McEwen, Tennessee. I want to look at that again with fresh eyes in light of some details we now have that we didn't have then, including key dates in the Charlie Kirk event at UVU. I also want to look at fallout from the alleged meeting at Fort Huachuca, including 2 alleged attendees' attempt at establishing alibis. I'll let you know up front, both failed to do so, and we'll talk about that and the consequences of that failure. Finally, I want to take a look at probably the weirdest thing I've come across yet in the investigation of Charlie Kirk. It is so weird that I can't draw a conclusion based on what my eyes are telling me they see. My eyes see what they see. My brain refuses to believe it. So I'm left with no way to reconcile the difference between my eyes and my brain. So I'm going to turn to you guys tonight, ask you what you see. I don't even want to tell you in this opening statement what it is, lest your brain explode before we even get started. I said finally, maybe if I have time for one more, I'm going to play where the sitting vice president of the United States was called an assassin today on the stage of TPUSA's AmpFest, if we have time. But first, the explosive new developments in the Charlie Kirk investigation. And I want to set this up by saying this is not where I was planning to go tonight. But last night, Triggersmart had a guest, Jon Aaron Bray. He's been on Twitter talking about the explosive mic theory. I have never gotten as many emails on one topic as I've gotten on that one. And I think part of it might be because I hinted at the importance of potentially an explosive mic when I talked about the debris in Candace Owens' picture. If you remember the debris in her picture, I talked about that. Because of that, I wonder if people took that as an idea that, oh gosh, I'm never going to be able to find it now. Here it is. I wonder if people are going to take that as an idea and run with it. But first, let me just show you this picture real quick. This is the Candace Owens picture I'm talking about. If you've not seen it, someone gave her a picture of the back seat of the SUV. And when you look at this picture, she put it up, you can see all these little black flecks down here. If you can't see it, we'll zoom in just a second. There's all these little black flecks back here. And she does provide a zoomed in picture. And this is what those black flecks look like. They're little flecks of plastic or glass. When I saw that, immediately my eyes went to sheet plastic. Sheet plastic exploded. It looks like it. It makes perfect sense. Someone else brought something up that I want to point out, though. Do you remember Brian Harpole describing the back seat of that van? He was talking about his bag being down in between the bucket seats that they laid Charlie Kirk over. I just want to point out that doesn't exist. There are no bucket seats. But we'll cover that a different day. I don't have time to cover absolutely everything that comes to my mind. But those are the black flecks that got me started on this. So I opened my show the other day and I lost my mind. I absolutely lost my mind. I said, this is it. This is the single most important development in the entire Charlie Kirk investigation. I still believe that. I absolutely still believe that. But I had to put some context to it. I couldn't just say, hey, here's some broken plastic in the backseat of a car. It doesn't make sense on its own. And so I wanted to go back and look at the Accurate Energetic Systems event, because when we covered it in October, we didn't have a lot of detail that we have today. If you remember, what was it, 10 days ago? Yeah, 10 days ago. I covered Brian Harpole talking about his timeline of when did they start. This is only going to be quick. I'm not going to sit here and watch videos of myself all night. When did they start planning the Orem, Utah Valley University event for Charlie Kirk? Here was Brian Harpole explaining when they started planning that. This date is going to be very, very, very important. I'm going to try to tie some disparate things together. It's going to take a lot of brain power here, so stay with me. Stay with me. Here we go. All right, I'm going to play about a minute of this. You can hear the date where the intense preparation begins.
We generally, the permitting process and all that goes on behind the scenes. And then there's questionnaires that are filled out that we used to, there was a lot of busy work. And then so, kind of like in the military, what you did, we create forms that, hey, let's get this information up front. Mm-hmm. And so that we have a duplication process so that we can confirm it. And so we started our first, before that one, the 24th of the month prior.
All right, the 24th of the month prior. That is when they started planning it. Well, you and I and others noticed that the 25th of the month prior, so that would have been August 24th. You and I realized that the 25th of the month prior, we had this mysterious flight from Joint Base Andrews to Colorado Springs, and then Colorado Springs to Las Vegas, and then back from Las Vegas to Camp Springs. We had this, do I need to make that larger? We had this mysterious flight, and the reason it was an important flight was it was a SAM 000. And I'm not going to draw the whole connection again, but it has to do with the alleged meeting that took place at Fort Huachuca. If that flight at Fort Huachuca, meeting at Fort Huachuca didn't take place, this flight has significantly less importance. But because that meeting at Fort Huachuca the day before Charlie Kirk was assassinated has not yet been disproven, no one, not a single person yet has provided a legitimate alibi for not being there. This flight still has significant relevance. And again, for those of you who didn't watch that program, this significant relevance was this SAM 000 flight. That's almost assuredly the Vice President of the United States. Almost assuredly. It could be, there's an outside chance it's someone else. It's not the president. SAM 000, if it's not the president, is almost always the vice president. There's an outside chance it was someone else, but it's probably not. Probably not. No matter who it is someone at the very tip top of civilian government or military government here in the United States. So we watch this. We look at the Las Vegas. We look at the Camp Springs to Colorado Springs. Okay, so we've got the 25th in the back of our head. And I started thinking, I know I've seen that 25th somewhere else. Yes, I did see it somewhere else. And I'm going to walk you through where else I saw it. And this is important because it could explain the story we're setting up tonight. I covered this back in October. You remember the Accurate Energetic Systems explosion in McEwen, Tennessee? It killed 16 people instantly. It was a military contractor who mixes up military-grade explosives and then sells them to the United States government and other foreign actors. I think other foreign actors, but they definitely sell explosives to the federal government. And so I did what I do. I got on sam.gov. This is sam.gov, by the way. This is the USAspending.gov. This is the way to track federal spending. Almost every federal dollar that goes to a contractor is listed through here. I slide down here and I see this description. Requirement for miniaturized extra small demolition charges and demolition charges, anti-personnel extra small to support SPM. Now, SPM could be a special purpose mission. There's an SPM Marine unit. I'm not sure what SPM here is, but I am sure what extra small means, and I am sure what anti-personnel means. And I looked at this, and I was like, oh, it's only $440,000. So I open up the contract, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is where the dates really start to come into play. The date of this contract was opened on May 1st, 2025, with delivery by August 25, 2025. August 25, 2025. So here you have a very short-term contract. May, June, July, May, June, July, August. Less than 4 months. This contract was signed and delivered in less than 4 months. And it was delivered on August 25, 2025. This is for, again, extra small anti-personnel charges. Extra small. I went searching around USA Spending. I believe this is one of the only contracts I could find that described explosives this way. One of the only I could find that described explosives that way. So just to put it all together, we have Brian Harpole telling us that the planning began in earnest on August 24th. I think he might have meant August 25th because August 24th is a Sunday. But even if it was August 24th, the Sunday, or August 24th, the Sunday, August 25th is the Monday. On August 25th, we have a SAM 000 flight that goes to Colorado Springs. And that's important. That's very important because Colorado Springs, the civilian airport in Colorado Springs, was the last destination of the SAM flight that went into Fort Huachuca, where allegedly Brian Harpole and others were spotted the day before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So we're putting all this together. There's a lot of brain power, again, that's required in all this, and we're not even done yet. We're just getting going. So stay with me. To recap, Brian Harpole, August 24th, we start planning in earnest. Well, that's a Sunday. August 25th. Hang on. I got to do this. I don't care. Bye. Look, I'm not tuning in to watch you. If you don't like what I say, go somewhere else. And that's not me being arrogant or anything like that. It's just, this is not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure. Just go. Hang up. It's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. If you want to see good information, hang around. If you don't want to see good information, go somewhere else. Turn it off. But you have August 24th as the day, the Sunday that it begins planning in earnest. You get August 25th, the Monday, the following Monday, you have the SAM 000 flight going to Colorado Springs, the civilian airport. And that civilian airport is the last airport destination before the September 9th meeting where Brian Harpole and allegedly the congressman from Las Vegas was there and something else. Okay, so now we got our timeline down. So what happened at this McEwen, Tennessee plant that even put this on our radar? Why would we even think about this place? Here is what we learned exactly 1 month to the day after the Charlie Kirk. Here it is. After the Charlie Kirk assassination. Hickman County explosives plant. This is in Tennessee. This is about 60 miles from my house, give or take, as the crow flies. Hickman County explosives plant committed safety violations in 2019. Inspection found. So Hickman County, which is a couple counties west of here, had a company called Accurate Energetic Systems. Accurate Energetic Systems produced this explosive, this extra small anti-personnel explosive that was delivered, that was contracted on May 1, delivered on August 25, and then Charlie Kirk dies on September 10, and by October 10, this place is toast. And when I say toast, I mean it was an explosion that was so massive, it was felt by people who live near me 60 miles away. 60 miles away, people felt this explosion. It wiped the plant off the map. Nothing is left. Literally nothing's left. You look at a picture before, you look at a picture after, nothing is left. They had previously been fined, and this is going to come up in a minute and be important, so I'm going to go ahead and show it since I have this up. They had previously been fined because one of the explosive materials they were using, called cyclonite, was not properly stored, and it was landing on people's skin, and it was causing them seizures. They would have this cyclonite land on their skin, and it would cause them seizures. And the reason that cyclonite is so dangerous is, and I looked this up, if it gets into the soil, it doesn't break down. It's very soil mobile, they call it. That's the word they use, soil mobile. And so it's very important you store this stuff. It doesn't quickly break down into inert substances. It stays very dangerous for a very long time. And if it lands on people or you breathe it in, you can have neurological effects up to and including seizures or death, organ failure. So once cyclonite is present in an area, you would not want that soil to be accessible. You might want to pave over the site, for example, if cyclonite had exploded in a given area. You wouldn't want kids at a college, for example, laying around in a courtyard that has cyclonite in it. You would want to make sure you've paved over that area or you've dug it up. So I'm putting all this together in my head. All this is coming together in my mind. And I tuned in last night because I love the guy Triggersmart. I love his show. I tune in. He's doing a great job. He's got Jon Aaron Bray on it. Jon Aaron Bray is the guy who invented the, and I'll show you pieces of it here in a second. He invented the computer program that tracked the movements of Charlie Kirk's shirt, microphone, and head and neck. And so I'm listening and listening and listening and watching and listening. And I think, oh my gosh. I've read his stuff. I've never heard him explain it. I think he's onto something here. I've actually talked now to Jon Aaron Bray. I think I might have him on the program at some point in the future, but I think tonight I'll just run through a little bit of his program last night with Triggersmart because I think I got everything I need for today out there. But as he and I spoke, we have a lot more we can share with this audience. So I want to play pieces of this. I think I have 7 clips that are between like 20 seconds and a minute. And I think it gives you a lot of background. So I've become known as the electrocution guy. Let me correct that. I'm not the electrocution guy. I'm the guy who raised the issue on a mass level of electrocution theory, potential of Charlie Kirk, to hear back from the audience. I thought it had risen to the record of, to the rate that everybody needed to hear about it. In my mind, it had enough credibility that we needed to get it in front of people and start getting feedback. And I've gotten a ton. And there are some areas of the electrocution theory that I now am rethinking, and there's some that I'm doubling down on. Same thing with this exploding microphone theory. I think there's something to that, and I don't think it's exclusive of the electrocution theory. So I do want to play a couple of clips of this. I want to go through and explain why it is. I think there's real merit to what Jon Bray is saying here, and I appreciate Triggersmart for having him on because I learned a great deal. If you are not a fan of Triggersmart, go give him a follow, give him a subscribe. He's great. He's got really good material. He tries to get to the right answer on things. Obviously, we disagree sometimes. He probably disagrees with me sometimes. Whatever. People disagree with people. But Jon Bray opens here with giving you a little bit of an idea of how he started down this road. And the one way he started down this road was he has a background in military body armor.
Like how you get into like what made you kind of go this route? Not super in detail, but just kind of like a high level.
Well, immediately I saw the video and I thought it was AI because it just looked so strange to me. And then my background's in body armor. I developed the refurbishing program for the Army for their IOTVs, OTVs. So I saw how his shirt deformed, and I was certain that he had body armor on. But, you know, within the end of the day, it was pretty obvious they didn't.
Okay, that was a pretty important clip. It's an intro in, hey, oh, by the way, I have a background in body armor. So but he kind of breezed past it. I want to really tease this out here. Everybody assumed he was wearing body armor, if you remember, for the first little while. You remember? Go back in time to mid-September. I still get people emailing me, telling me, well, it hit his body armor. Guys, he did not have on body armor. He absolutely did not have on body armor. You could see his spine in the back. You could see his nipples in the front. You could see his chest hair. No body armor. The reason people are so married to the idea of body armor is because his shirt moved in a way that your brain cannot reconcile that his shirt was not part of the equation. That's why people are married to the body armor. That's why I still get emails from people saying, you know, he was wearing body armor, or I think it hit his body armor. Have you considered it hit his body armor? And I just want to choke somebody, but it now makes sense because until I heard John say that, even he, as a body armor expert, a guy who refurbishes military body armor as a job, believed it was body armor up until it became obvious it wasn't. And so as he's evaluating this, I thought, you know what? He's really onto something here. The shirt is important. The way the shirt moved. We've all seen the way the necklace came up. But let's go back and hear this second clip. Again, I've tried to make these as short as possible. I don't want to steal too much of Triggersmart's commentary because it's a really great program. I encourage everybody to go watch the whole thing. He actually has a long form version and he's clipped it down to a short form version for those with ADD.
No wire. So then I was left with three different things that kind of I had to figure out how to explain how they were obviously tied together because they started movement at the same time and they kind of moved in kind of opposite directions of each other. The shirt, you know, pulling up on his face and the magnetic clasp kind of moved opposite of each other at first, and then the magnetic clasp flows back across his chest as the shirt relaxes. And then the necklace was what puzzled me the most because it's the most energetic object of the event. It moved the quickest. It had the most amount of energy kind of displayed.
All right, so he's got three things he's looking at. I just don't want you. I'm pausing because I don't want it to be lost. The irony that he's holding in his left hand a Shure SM58 microphone. That's the microphone Charlie's holding in the video on the right. A Shure SM58 microphone. So they're holding the same mic. So if you want to know what Charlie's microphone look like, look at Jon Bray at the top of the three-man totem pole over there. So what this video is, I'm going to show you. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. John wrote a computer program using an MIT process. He wrote a computer program that as the pixels move from frame to frame, it will tell you which pixels move the farthest. So it'll the best, John, if I'm getting this wrong, apologize. But the best way I know how to explain it is like every pixel is given an identity, and then where that pixel moves, it'll color it based on how far it moves. So if it doesn't move at all, the screen doesn't change colors. But when it moves, you'll see an energetic source coming from the t-shirt here. So I'm going to let him keep going, but I'm going to stop it when you see the t-shirt move.
And it was enough energy to actually.
Boom, right there. You see that? This is why we all assumed, myself included on day one, this is why we all assumed he was wearing body armor. Because his shirt moved as if he got shot in the chest. We instinctively know what that looks like. We've watched it on movies. We've watched it in real life. If you've been in war or anything, you know what people look like when they get shot. What you don't know is what's causing this movement, because instantly, within minutes, we were told, no, he was not shot. He was not at all shot in the chest. He was shot solely in the neck. Nothing made contact with his chest because he wasn't wearing body armor, and had he been shot in the chest, it wouldn't have deflected. It would have gone right through him. And so what he says is he had to reconcile as he evaluated this image, he had to reconcile that there were three things moving simultaneously. One was his shirt in general. The second thing he had to reconcile was the microphone. He had a portable microphone, not just the Shure SM58 he was holding in his hand. He had a Rode Wireless Pro 2 that was attached to his, it kind of was attached up here like this. Here, let me get rid of this for a second. I'll show you kind of what it was like. It's just a shade longer than my my AirPod or my earbud case here, but it was under his shirt right here, and it was held. Actually, this is even better. These are my hearing aid case for those of you who don't know how deaf I am. It was on his shirt, and then there was a magnet clasp holding it on, but it's way up here. See, it's way up here. The magnetic clasp is way up here. The wound was on this side, midway through the neck. You've got obviously your Adam's apple. All this is over here. And so what he's saying is this moves, this microphone moves. It moves from over here to over here. The shirt moves up, and then you have that necklace move up into his neck. Three things simultaneously moving all different directions. And you can see, going back and looking at the pixelated image here, you can see where is the most of the energy coming from. It's not coming from his neck. Not coming from his neck. It's coming from the middle of his chest, from his sternum area. I will also draw your attention, because I think it's important for reasons Jon Aaron Bray may not understand and Triggersmart may not understand. It's important that you look at this little bitty one over here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Right over here under his right armpit. You see that red hot zone there where there's a lot of stuff moving around? That's going to be important down the road if you continue to listen to my program beyond tonight. I am going to cover that spot right there, and I'm going to tell you what it is. But I can't do it tonight. I can't do it tonight. So you've got this right here under his armpit. You have this gigantic movement right here in the middle of his chest. And then you have what you can see, his microphone right here, this lighter blue, zooming across his body, kind of at like a 30-degree angle across the screen. And John looks at this and says, I cannot reconcile what's happening here. This is irreconcilable with a single bullet entry wound to the neck. Frankly, it's irreconcilable with a bullet entry wound from behind and an exit wound in the front. I'll go ahead and spill the surprise on that for those of you who think it might be. So if it's not that, what is it? That's where he starts looking at the microphone. I'm going to go one step further and suggest it could also be something else. We'll let him discuss the microphone, and then I will kind of give you my expanded thoughts. Let me pull this up. This is a big show. This is a big show. This is a big topic.
So that made it plausible. And then I started to study the injuries from the pager attacks, which
I need to tell you real quickly, because I clipped this a little tight. The pager attacks he's talking about he's talking about the Israeli pager attacks against Hezbollah in Lebanon. And if you'll recall, there was two waves of those attacks. There was the first attack wave, and then I think a day or two later, there's a second wave attack. And they were two different types of devices. One was, well, I got an old pager right here. It's not that old. These old pagers where you open them up and they have AAA batteries in them. You know what I'm talking about? You got a AAA. You guys remember these, right? Old school pagers. You can turn it on. It still works. Oh, no, it's dead. Battery's dead. But anyway, they had AAA batteries in it. And then they have some pagers that have like the battery in your phone, a lithium ion battery. That's what he's talking about here. I'm just giving you a little. So he's opening up the discussion here on whether or not this would be probable or possible even in a microphone.
The pagers themselves were alkaline batteries. They were round, like AA style batteries. So they left like black residue, but they didn't leave any burns, and they didn't really like char the victims. And it was pretty directional. The
Wait, so you're saying the ones in Lebanon did not leave charring?
yeah, what they left was the alkaline battery was like the insides of the alkaline battery, like the black residue from the alkaline battery. The walkie-talkies that followed the day after, they had lithium batteries, and they didn't leave any charring or any residue. They were pretty much clean. So that's where I was like, well, that's bizarre, because immediately, you know, like everyone else, you think explosion, you think it's going to be like a lot of radial damage. There'll be charring and residue left. So that opened up to the possibility that it could be a completely clean burn. But then I was kind of perplexed, like why would someone go through the effort of this and not have a means to cover it up, right? If they killed Charlie with a loaded microphone bomb, everyone would know who it is. So that kind of opened up the idea that they would need a patsy. And
I can't say it any better than Jon Bray just said it. If Charlie Kirk, if you woke up to the news on September 10th and they said Charlie Kirk died from an exploding microphone or an exploding necklace, you'd have said, hey, wait a minute. That's government. That's foreign or domestic government, but that's military. That's intel. That's not a gay guy living with a trans furry. He does not do that. But if you wake up and they say, man, Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, that's wild, isn't it? Well, yeah, that could, I mean, it's still probably not, frankly, a guy living with a trans furry, but it's certainly more likely that it's a guy living with a trans furry than the old exploding microphone trick. I don't mean to make light of it, I promise. So what is it they were trying to accomplish? This is kind of gets to the point of where I think this investigation is going. I think what he's about to say here in 23 seconds, this is where I've been hinting that my investigation is going. He is clearly hinting he thinks that's where the investigation is going. And I want you to hear it directly from him because he's the first one to have said it on the interwebs, and I want you guys to give him full credit. Trigger and Jon Bray did a great job in this, by the way.
But I'll put my mind in kind of the conspirators, right? If I wanted to pull this sort of event out, I would want the wound and the event to look like a rifle shot. And in my mind, immediately what I thought was it looked like a chest shot. So then I was like, what if this was designed to mimic a chest shot of a 36, 30-06?
So let's talk about
That's where I'm headed. That's where I'm headed. That comment is on Triggersmart's, not mine. I think this was designed to look like a chest shot. I think the neck wound was entirely incidental. I think this was intended to look like a chest shot. Because what is more believable? Tyler Robinson shot him somewhere here, probably way off to the side, because he's not a very good shot. May have shot him, just barely gotten him under the right nipple, for example, right over here. Remember the wound area I was telling you about right over here? What's more likely? Tyler Robinson gets him right over here, barely clips his chest, or he hits him right in the jugular? Which is more likely? I know which is more likely in my mind. Now, why doesn't the official narrative make sense? I think he does, again, a good job of this, so I'm going to let him explain it. Why doesn't the official narrative make sense? And then I'm going to come back in just the next clip and explain more about what I mean by why I think they intended to set up a chest shot.
that really quick, because a lot of people are going to say, like, what's your official explanation as to why the official narrative wouldn't work?
Well, it's because it's the order of events. So you when you watch the events unfold in slow motion, frame by frame, the necklace, the microphone movement, and the shirt all precede the appearance of the neck wound. And with a high velocity impact to the neck, the zone 2 of the neck in particular, you would have instantaneous effects, right? You would have automized blood, you would have cavitation, There's no way that you would have it's at 0.43 seconds delay from when the shirt first moves to when you see the neck wound even appear.
That's an important distinction, and it's something that again lended credibility to the body armor thought for a lot of people very early on, because they hits the shirt. They thought, oh, the bullet must have hit the shirt. You see the big shirt movement, and then ricochets up to the neck. Then you see the wound, and then bullet falls out, and now you have neck wound. Because of that delay, it's not simultaneous. It's a huge problem in the sequencing of the shirt moving and the wound appearing. But I'm going to let him continue.
And it's almost a whole second before blood appears out of the neck wound.
Yeah, that's the strangest part to me, is that delay.
So then I studied, the forensics of high velocity impacts, and there's so much, case studies on it and examples of people being shot in the neck in the exact same area, and nothing about it made sense. There's no high velocity blood, no blood atomization. And then the strangeness of the leaked autopsy reports. Like,
I'm not getting into the leaked autopsy reports because I think this is an area where he and I diverge a little bit. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to set up this next clip by telling you what I think I'm becoming more convinced of. I'm becoming convinced he was not shot with a bullet. I'm becoming convinced he was not shot at all with a bullet. Not in the neck, not in the chest, nowhere. I am convinced that they intended to make it look like he was shot in the chest. And that perhaps the wound you see on his neck was intended for his chest. And so then you would hear the bang, you would see the wound, and then he would be carted off before anyone knew what was happening. I do believe that when all the security got over him and they looked at him, they thought, oh my, what is this? This isn't what it's supposed to look like. You can almost see, for those of you who are just, I call it a Rickgasm. You guys have Rickgasms. Everybody loves talking about Rick Cutler. Oh, palm gun guy. He's pulling a trigger. He's pulling on his, I don't know what he was doing. He countdown. Everybody loves Rick. I don't know. Rick must look like a Nazi villain from a 1980s movie or something. Everybody hates Rick. I'm not so sure, because when Rick rolls up on the scene, you can see him almost laugh. And when you look at it, it's almost like he rolled up and thought, damn, boys, what'd you do? It's almost like he was shocked. Almost like he was shocked. I keep seeing people asking about the cavitation. I'll explain that in a minute. We're not quite there yet, but I'll explain that. I don't think what you're seeing necessarily is the type of cavitation you're anticipating or that you would see if he got shot in the neck with a 30-06. Obviously, if it was a 30-06, he just would be missing half a neck. So it's nonsensical to believe he was shot with a 30-06. I was watching Valhalla the other night, who actually was watching somebody else. Then they were out there from 140 yards shooting steel plates right through, femurs, cow femurs right through, cinder blocks right through. There's no way 2 inches of neck meat is stopping a 30-06. It's nonsensical. Absolutely nonsensical. But I do want to roll forward this because I don't want to. All right, here is why I mentioned all that about the neck. He thinks, like I do, they're making this up on the fly because they weren't expecting it.
Right.
Yeah, so this is oh, you guys didn't hear any of that. Oh gosh. Guys, you deserve so much better than this. My audience does not deserve this quality of production. You guys hang in here day after day, week 2, 3, 4 shows a week, some weeks. You deserve someone who cares more about you than I did right there. I apologize. Let me get this back up so you can get the quality programming you deserve. Unacceptable. I'm putting myself in timeout for 29 seconds.
I believe that the microphone was designed to replicate a 30-06 impact to the chest, and there was unforeseen shrapnel that came off of the microphone, either the battery or the magnetic clasp that struck his neck that they didn't prepare for. And so when the very obvious neck wound became kind of the center point of the event, they had to shift the narrative from a chest shot to a single neck shot.
And the best evidence of this is Andrew Colvette coming out within days of the shot saying, oh, I talked to the surgeon. Charlie's got a Superman neck. You should see the titanium plated neck bones that saved lives of those around him. Oh, it would have been a gore fest all over, but for his Superman bones. Here's a direct quote from the surgeon talking about just how important Charlie Kirk's final act of being a hero was. It was a true miracle from God himself. Heaven again, heaven above could not have predicted this. And then a few days ago, they come out and say, I have no idea why Andrew Colvette said any of that. I have no idea why Andrew Colvette said it. He's a lying liar who lies. He has violated the 8th commandment. Thou shalt not lie. That's what they've done to poor Andrew Colvette. They picked him up and they threw him overboard. They threw him out of the bus and they backed it up. And they backed the bus up. Well, in doing so, they have exposed a reality. They exposed a reality. What is the reality they exposed? They're making it up on the fly. You know what that tells me? He wasn't shot in the neck. Because if he was shot in the neck, you know what they would have said? Here's what happened. Here's what happened. He was shot in the neck. Here's the bullet. It's matched to this gun. Here's the damage it did, and the damage makes complete sense, guys, because it comes in at an angle, a 9-degree angle, offset of the neck, and it passed right clean through. Or, for some reason, it stopped. But what they wouldn't say is, here's a direct quote from the surgeon about how Charlie Kirk's neck is made of steel, and he's a miracle. He's like Superman. And then 2.5 months later, when nobody was buying the story, they come back and say, as a matter of fact, Andrew Colvette's full of sugar honey iced tea. Don't believe anything he says ever again. He'll lie right to your face. Now, I'm a believer that Andrew deserves better than that. I don't think Andrew deserves to be done like that. I really don't. I think Andrew Colvette should tell them to take the job and shove it. And he should come over to the light side. And he should tell us everything we know, everything he knows. He doesn't deserve to be done that way. But that is the evidence he was not shot in the neck. Because if he was shot in the neck, you don't have to lie. If he was shot in the neck, you don't have to make up a story about how he's Superman and he's got titanium bones. You don't have to make up a story about how 2 elk can't stop a 30-06, but Charlie Kirk's 2 inches of neck muscle sure did. You don't have to make any of that up. You just tell what happened. The first day, you say frangible round. I mean, the surgeon would have known that within minutes. Surely they x-rayed the neck. They can see all the little pieces. No, but that's not what happened, is it? It wasn't until about 1,000 people like Valhalla, like Chris Peterson. Is it Peterson? Chris Peterson? Like all these people had gone out there, range day bros. Everybody had got out there and just started sending live rounds downrange over and over and over again, trying to find some material that would stop a 30-06 from 142 yards. And what they learned was nothing stops a 30-06 from 142 yards. Nothing. Everything it blows out the back of. Pork roast, beef femurs, beef vertebrae, steel plates, concrete cinder blocks, Nothing can stop it. And after several thousand YouTube videos of people showing that nothing stops the 30-06, the TPUSA people had to stop telling us, oh, Charlie's neck stopped at 30-06. Take that to the bank. No, it didn't. No, it didn't at all. And we knew it from the beginning. Why? We're not liars and we're not idiots. Because that's how they've been treating you. They've been treating you like you're an idiot. They've been lying to you every step of the way. And as soon as we call them and say, wait a minute, that's not possible, they go, oh, yeah, it wasn't really a 30-06. It was a frangible round shot through a 30-06. What an actual 30-06 slug. So here's the final clip I'm going to play. This is when he talks about, and the only reason I'm playing this is I'm giving him major kudos because he's the only reason we got this information out of Candace. Not that she was hiding it from us. I don't think she knew what she had.
So now I'm just bringing this up because with the Candace Owens kind of dropped that bomb in one of her videos saying that there's a little specks, the little black specks on the floor inside of her car. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah.
So the car that Charlie was in, and they're saying that that might be from, you know, people are implying that might be from the explosion, like pieces of the pager or of the, in this case, of the audio that exploded, and these little tiny pieces they're seeing in the car were from that. What do you think about that?
I believe.
Yeah, I'm
that.
actually the one that sent her the message about that. The type of plastic that you see in the floorboard too would match the plastic you could expect from that device. So you have flat black plastic, and then you have glossy plastic. The glossy plastic is the actual face of the case, which the battery is right behind that O there. So that immediate charge would basically shatter that into, you know, a million little pieces. Like,
I'm going to break in for just a second. If you've not gotten on here, you can jump in and see all these little black plastic flecks all in through this car in here. So I'm going to recommend it and say, it's the very last clip I'm going to play. It's a little less than a minute left, but when we get done with it, I'm going to say, go follow Jon Aaron Bray on X, go like Triggersmart's video and watch it and subscribe to him. He's great stuff anyway.
glass, and then the primary charge would further break the inner core of the device, which you showed earlier when the battery was kind of popped out of the device. It's all flat black on the inside of it. And how thin that plastic is, when it would break, it would just shatter into small little pieces like that from the high pressure wave of the explosive. Like I said, it's a Mach 7, jet that's going to be coming out of that device. It's
all right, and he and I talked about this. Well, I looked up the exact type of explosive combination that I think it was. That explosive combination, it's a 60-40 mix of the explosive I told you about earlier, RDX, I think it's called, and TNT. When you put those two together, do you know what the blast speed is? It's 24,000 feet per second. To give you an idea how fast that is, a 30-06 round, had it happened, would have arrived at about 2,300, let's say, feet per second. 24,000 feet per second. And that's if it's shaped. If it's not shaped, what happened? Stabbed myself. Look at that. That's if it's not, that's if it's shaped. If it's not shaped, it's upwards of like 7,000 feet per second. It's some kind of ludicrous speed. I mean, just absolutely ludicrous speed. Now, there's one thing I'm not playing, but I want you to go to his X feed. It's Jon Aaron Bray, Jon Aaron Bray on X. I'm not playing it because it's just too gruesome for my audience. But he has a slow-mo of the wound opening up and coming out. And there is a right-angled piece of material that falls out when the blood starts. So you guys remember there was the mark when the shirt came down, but there was no blood initially. Shirt comes up, there's a mark, shirt comes down, then the blood starts pouring, which is not consistent with a rifle shot to the neck, but whatever. What he shows you in slow motion, he has two side-by-side videos from two different angles. Both angles show it. There is a two right angle piece of something that falls out of there with the initial blood flow. That ain't a bullet. It's not a bullet. I do not believe he was shot with a bullet. I believe it was intended to look like he got shot with a bullet. I believe it was intended to look like he got shot with a bullet in the chest. I don't believe it was intended to look like he got shot with a bullet in the neck. And I think that was a total accident. Now, I have a theory for how they intended to make it look like he got shot in the chest with a rifle round. I have a theory behind that, and I've got a couple of things I have to nail down before I can release that whole theory. But I do not, I'm 99.44% sure that he was not shot in the neck with a bullet. Now, where does this put my electrocution theory? The same. I think it was simultaneous. I think it could have even been the mechanism to create the blast. Could have been the electrical charge through his body. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not an electrician. I'm not an electrical engineer. But I do believe he was electrocuted, and I believe he had a broken microphone, an explosion under his shirt. Now, was it only one thing that exploded under his shirt, or was it two things? Because what we have is little microphone pieces all over this van, or all over this SUV. We've got little black plastic flecks all over the place. So that's one thing we have. But we also have the physics problem of the shirt coming up from underneath. And at a speed that is absolutely impossible from a gunshot to the neck. If you go back, and this is what I was talking about, and I want to bring him on to talk about the mechanics, but the angle from the side. So if you're looking at Charlie's, say, 9 o'clock, there's a camera angle. It's a really high quality camera angle. I played it on here many times. I could even show you the beginning of it. Let me open it up here and I'll show you the beginning of this camera angle. It's this camera angle. It's 60 frames per second. And I'm not going to show you the gunshot, but it's 60 or the bang. It's this video right here is 60 frames per second. Really crisp and clear. If you go one frame at a time, if you advance this at the moment of the impact, if you advance it one frame at a time, his shirt travels over 2 feet. I mean, his necklace travels over 2 feet. Do the math. That's not possible. That is impossible from a gunshot to the neck. Nothing can cause a necklace to accelerate that quickly without its own source of speed, its own something acting on it. That's the only thing. I believe, well, I'm going to leave that out. I think the necklace accelerated, the microphone accelerated, or both. Could be both. But I do believe it was intended to look like a gunshot. But I'm still trying to tie down a couple of items before I explain to you how that happened. Here, this was a good question, and this is what I'm waiting on. Someone asked, am I ready to explain the nipple burn? Not yet. I'm working on it. Because the nipple burn is going to be key to whether or not, frankly, Charlie was in on it. That, to me, is still a live issue in my mind. Was Charlie aware there was an operation to make it look like he got shot in the chest? That, to me, is a live issue. And I'm not ready to tie that loose end yet. I'm not ready to tie that up. But I think the burn around his nipple is part of it. I think if you look at the Move into the shirt. Remember, I told you, watch that really high energy position of the front right. See if I can go back and find that. If you go back and, can I find it that quickly? You go back and look. Yeah, right here. Go back and watch below his right nipple when they start showing the energy. You'll see what I'm talking about. And I think it's key to determining whether or not Charlie was aware of it. That's what I'm talking about right there. That little small piece right here. I think it's a live issue whether Charlie was aware of this small piece on the lower right-hand side of his chest, left as we're looking about it. I do not believe Charlie was aware of this gigantic piece here. And I don't believe Charlie was aware of the microphone up here. I think those would have caught him by surprise. The question is whether he was aware of this one, and I've got some loose ends to tie down on that. And it raises a whole other set of issues that is going to really bother some people. It's going to raise a whole lot of issues that are going to really bother people. Namely, why would he be in on something like that? And that's what I've got to come back to. That's what I got to come back to. But I'm telling you right now, this evidence tonight does not require a gunshot to do exactly this. Now, am I married to this? Am I saying 100% that he was exploded by an exploding microphone? No. Am I saying 100% something, had caused his necklace to go up high like that? No. Am I saying 100% Charlie was in on it and he knew something? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is once I get to a certain point where I think the evidence becomes more likely than not that something probably happened, I raise the issue and I bring it to you. I show you the evidence. I show you the video. I show you the discussion, and I let you give me feedback. That's what I did with the electrocution. I showed you his hands. I showed you the ring falling off and hanging on to his... Actually, I didn't because I couldn't show you the video, but I told you about it. I told you all these things, and I raise the issues, and I bring them up to a certain level, and then I say, all right, you tell me what you think. You guys go do your research. You guys jump on Jon Aaron Bray's X feed and look at it. You guys go and watch the Triggersmart video and listen to it. You guys think, do some research. Look at Accurate Energetic Systems. Why did it blow up? What kind of contracts did they have? Is that August 25th date what we think it is? Maybe. But it's a ludicrous position. And this is the position Candace gets put in. I get put in. Ian gets put. Lots of us get put in this position where they say, unless you're 100% sure something is true, you're not allowed to talk about it online. And I reject that. I absolutely reject that. And here's why. How are we ever going to get to 100% if we're not allowed to talk about it? That's all. Like, I will raise these issues. It looks like there's some force moving his shirt. The only two things that we know of that were under his shirt were a microphone and a necklace. Just so happens that's where a lot of the force came from. There is an area where a third bit of force is coming from that the official story says there was nothing there. Everybody agrees there was a microphone a necklace right here in the middle of the chest. And there's tremendous force coming from right in the middle of the chest. Everyone agrees there was a microphone right here, and there's tremendous force coming from right there. Not everyone agrees there's something here, but there is tremendous force coming from here as well. And I think there might have been something there as well. That's what I'm trying to tie down. But regardless, if I have to get to the point where I'm 100% certain something happened, and I have to call people out by name before I'm even allowed to discuss something, then this investigation stops and nobody's allowed to talk about it at all. We might as well all go to the TPUSA event and say, 30-06 to the neck. Oh, we're doing frangible round this week. Frangible round to the neck. Woo, 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 woo. And it's totally nonsensical. It's absolute lunacy. It doesn't happen. That's not the way the world works. We're allowed to have conversations. We're allowed to discuss these things and see. All I'm asking is have a look at it. Have a look at it. Go look at Accurate Energetic Systems. Go look at Jon Aaron Bray. Go look at Triggersmart. Go look at the video, and you tell me what you think happened. I think the most compelling is the piece of debris that I think pretty much clearly falls out of his neck. It's 2 right angles. Blood doesn't fall in right angles. Blood doesn't fall in right angles. All right, before we get to the next story, I want you guys to hit the like button, subscribe to the program if you've not already. Feel free to share it with your friends. We have fun in here. Not everybody has as much fun as we do. We have more fun than most. All right. Let me set up the next topic this way. Candace mentioned the September 9th Fort Huachuca meeting. She had a guest on who said there was a September 9th Fort Huachuca meeting. I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. All we can go by is what he says. But it does seem to have a little bit of something there because there was a very important plane there. And he did name specific people. And that's always dangerous. If you're going to call somebody out for doing something and you say, I saw you there, they better have been there. Because if not, it's going to be very easy for them to explain where they were. No, I was in Washington, D.C. voting on bills. Oh, well, then your source looks like an idiot. Oh, no, I was in Dallas, Texas with my daughter watching her play volleyball. Oh, now your source is an idiot. So they've named specific people. The source has named specific people. The 2 people we'll talk about today is Representative Mark Amodei, Amodei. That was one of the people he named from Las Vegas. Just so happens the SAM 000 flight also flew to Las Vegas. Could be a coincidence. So that's one person they named. And the second person they named was Brian Harpole. So if you're going to name those 2 people, well, they're going to have the opportunity to come back with an alibi. Were they able to come up with an alibi? Well, they tried. Both of them tried. I will submit to you, both of them failed. And I'll show you what I mean by that. This is the first attempt at an alibi. This is Representative Mark Amodei. He tried to give this alibi. He says, no, I was in Washington, D.C. working for the district. I was in meetings all day. Well, there were 2 votes in the morning, and he was not at either of them. And so he brings up the idea that, no, I was in Washington, D.C. taking roll call votes with my committee. But look, lo and behold, he was not at either one of those roll call votes. Why didn't you vote? Why didn't you abstain? Why didn't you vote yes? Why didn't you vote no? Well, we're not asking for anything heroic here. We're just asking if you're working, you might as well raise your hand every now and then. All they do is say, Mr. Amodei, and you go, aye or no. And then you're on to the next one. So that's number one. And he actually tried to say this, and he got community noted. He tried to say, no, I was in Washington, D.C. taking votes. No, he got community noted. The community notes voted and said, no, you weren't there. Sorry, you're not going to play that game. We're not falling for that. The second person who tried was Brian Harpole. And here's how he tried. This failed even worse. Brian Harpole submitted a plane confirmation. You can look at it here. This is, at first blush, you think, oh, this is important. This is a plane flight that was booked over here on August 29th. It's on the right-hand side, about 3 lines down under the green. You can see my little green thumb in there, my finger. August 29th, 2025 is when it was booked. The flight was booked for 1:42 p.m. from Dallas-Fort Worth on September 9th. The problem with that is this is not a boarding pass. This is just a flight confirmation. You've got a booking. Okay, well, I could book a flight every day for a year. If I don't get on the flight, that's not evidence I was somewhere else. Now, you show me a boarding pass on this flight, at least I know you were at DFW at 1:42 p.m. I don't know where you were at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if you were in Sierra Vista, Arizona at Fort Huachuca. I don't know if you were on the flight back from Fort Huachuca. I can't answer any of that. But at least if you provide me a boarding pass, I am now boxed into the 1:42 p.m. time, that at 1:42 p.m. Central Time, you were on a flight at DFW. That at least narrows the window. I would submit to you that when you try to provide an alibi and fail, there arises a rebuttable presumption that you weren't where you claim to be. That's what I submit to you. That's how I've always treated people. If you give me an alibi, it better work. Because if I catch your alibi not working, I don't believe anything else you say. You lose. You lose. You look worse by providing a bad alibi than if you'd have just said nothing. If Brian Harpole had still said nothing, I would be sitting back going, he might smoke Candace. He might break her down. He might shoot her out of orbit. And that is the easiest. You guys want Candace to go away? Hey, TPUSA, you guys want Candace to go away? You want her to stop reporting? How about some alibis? Where was Erica Kirk on the night of September 8th? Was she at Fort Huachuca? Was she at the Candlewood Suites? You want Candace Owens to go away? Where was Brian Harpole the morning of September 9th? Was he at home at DFW getting ready to make his 1:42 p.m. flight to Salt Lake City? That's how you get her to go away. Where was Mark Amodei? Was he in Washington, D.C.? Why is he not on camera for the committee meeting that was recorded? He's not there that I'm aware of. Then why didn't he take any roll call votes that morning? See, the problem with providing an alibi that fails is it looks like a lie. The fact that you need an alibi means people tend to believe you weren't where you said you were. That's the problem. Now, I want to show you the weirdest thing I've come across yet. And I got to move quickly because we're already an hour and 20 minutes into this, and I intended to spend more time than this. I don't know any other way to set this up other than to say, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Do you see this image right here? This is an image taken by someone of Charlie Kirk before the event. And this is the old man that was standing in the background. Allegedly, this is the old man standing in the background. We now know his name allegedly is Butch Hibbs. And I use the word allegedly intentionally. I use the word allegedly intentionally. I want you to take a very close look at this man. I'll leave this picture up in just a minute. I want you to look at his legs. I want you to look at his pants, see how they fit. Look at his shoes, see how they fit. Now, Charlie Kirk is 6'6". And Butch Hibbs looks to be about 5'8". Average size, white male. But, Charlie Kirk is towering over him. What do you notice down here? My boy's got sleds. He's walking around in snowshoes. Those are clown feet. When you're 5'8" and you're wearing, size 16s, like those feet are bigger than Charlie's. I don't know a single person in America who's 5'8" wearing shoes that big. Those feet literally are bigger than Charlie's. Look at those pants. Look how they fit. Do you see? This guy's either very popular with the ladies or those aren't his shoes. Very popular with ladies or those aren't his shoes. Do you see thigh muscles busting out of these legs, out of these pants? How many pockets do you see on this shirt? I see one here and I see one here. What color is this shirt? Is it gray or is it green? Look at his beard. I want you to get a really good look at this face sweater. You get a real good look at that. I've got some other images I'll show you in a moment. But now that you've taken in all the glory that is allegedly Butch Hibbs, I want to show you a video. This was Blake Bednards and I were watching this video together. And he walked by, and we had a simultaneous meltdown. Bro, is that a real person? I don't think it is. This is allegedly the same person walking up the scene. This is supposed to be the same person walking up. This is the Life is Driving video. Give him full credit here. This I can even turn the sound off. It doesn't matter at this point. But I want you to watch this. I'm gonna play this in slow-mo, just so you get it in all its glory. Playback speed half. Here we go. Does that look like the same person to you? Does that look like the same beard? I'll pull it up again in a second. Look at that beard. Does that look like the same beard? That beard looks weirdly trimmed around his lips. It looks so full and not a single strand of anything but bright white cotton beard. Now look at his sunglasses. Who wears sunglasses like that? I'm not done. I've got more footage. Where's the green? His shirt has gone gray. Oh, it gets better. Better, you say? Better. Just wait. What's the next timestamp? I got it here. All right. So we scroll forward a little bit and we meet our good friend Hibbs again, allegedly Hibbs, in the background this time. Here's where we're going to find him. He's back here. Look at those pants now. Those pants are tied on his thighs, tied on his calves. Let's see if I can blow that up. You see that? Do those look like the same legs? Now watch, it gets better. You're going to love this. You're going to absolutely love this. Hold on, I got to roll it forward. This is great. This is the big reveal. Now, this is what I'm saying. It's so weird it broke my brain. Now, it's possible there's a legitimate explanation. If there is, I'm willing to accept it. Until then, I'm calling this guy allegedly Bruce Hibbs. Butch Hibbs. Well, I guess his real name is Bruce Hibbs. But so this guy's giving an interview. He's talking about the shooting. I guess I could turn the sound back up.
Hey, how you doing? I'm okay. Kind of shocked.
Definitely shocking.
I'm going to 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed.
We're here at the Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA event. What can you...
I got to set this up. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting, but I got to set up. So we saw allegedly Butch Hibbs over in the corner with his gigantic thighs, his gigantic calves, and he's looking much taller than he did a little bit ago. I don't know how that happens. He certainly got fitter in the last 20 minutes. But and his beard just looked totally different. But just watch. I'm going to point out, I'm at 1.5 speed, so it's going a little quick. But you saw where he was standing. Now watch where he happens to end up here.
Tell me briefly what happened in your eyes.
Well, my name's Eric. I was standing about the third level back, so probably 50 feet from Charlie. I heard a shot, which took my attention away from Charlie. And when I looked back at him after the echoes, there was blood protruding from his neck or his head, about 6 inches or more, literally gushing out. Neck or head, I'm not quite sure, because his head was tilted back. I don't think he's going to survive this shot, if you want my opinion.
You see that white hat in the background that just appeared right here? It's off to this man's shoulder. Like if you take a 45-degree angle from this shoulder over here, it goes right there. See that white hat? Watch who this turns out to be. This is great.
I think he got hit in a very vital spot.
Did it seem like it was an up-close shooter or at long range? Any idea?
I don't know. It sounded like a higher caliber. It sounded like a higher caliber, like a 9mm. It didn't sound like a 45 or anything, but
You notice anything missing from his shirt?
I don't know. It didn't sound that deep to me. It almost sounded like a cherry bomb.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Do you see something missing? He's missing a pocket. It looks like he's missing a pocket. Like I see that pocket. I don't see that one. The shirt looks green. The shirt looks gray now instead of green. That could just be a white balance issue. But I don't know how you miss a pocket. And his beard looks different. He's back to different beard. So I'm gonna show you that. I got to back that back up. But just watch here.
I am too. I can't believe it happened in Utah of all places, where he has so much support. But obviously the opposition was here, and now we're looking at a murder scene, possibly. It's obviously a crime scene, but I don't think that Charlie can survive this unless the EMTs were close, and it was pretty. I mean, rated R level kind of stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. You bet.
And there they go. Now, I want to go back and show you a couple of different images here. I got to get the freeze frame of him standing next to the camera.
Walking up the stair.
So let me get him frozen up here next to the camera. Right there. And I want to pull a freeze frame of Charles McClintock Wilson's other photos of him. You tell me if this is the same guy. It might be. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the same guy. But I have my doubts. I'm over here having my doubts. All right, let me pull these up one at a time. I wish I could get them side by side. Here is image of old man before. 2 pockets, 2 clearly defined pockets with shadows and everything else. And a beard that to me just looks different. Here's the different picture here. Get him back. I think I've lost him. Let me back out of here and see if I can find another image of him walking in. I think that might be the ones I had. Oh, here's another one. Yeah. Here's the one I wanted to show you. This just looks like a different guy to me. This just looks like a different guy. Now, it's possible it's not, and I'm just wasting your time. But I'm telling you right now, as I look at this, that looks like a different guy. So get that image burned in your head. Now get this image burned in your head. And tell me that's the same person. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I can't figure out why they would need to do this. That's the biggest problem I have. Like, he doesn't look like the same person. He almost looks like he's wearing a mask. His glasses are all jacked up because he can't feel his face. It's a totally different beard, in my opinion. But I look at it, I'm like, but why? If you wanted 2 people, they just put a different person there. Like, why would you go through the process of having fake Butch Hibbs? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, that exists. Here's the last image I'll show. Again, we'll go back to this one because I think this one's the important follow-up. That looks like a different beard. It just looks like a different beard. And again, those look like different legs. Oh boy, before looked jacked. Oh boy, looked jacked. But whatever, maybe this is just Butch Hibbs. He's got size 14 sleds. And his beard is miraculous at some angles and in some lighting, and in others it's not. Maybe the pocket's really there and it just doesn't look like it's there. I don't know. But I saw it and I thought, I've got to raise this issue. I've just got to raise it. I knew you guys would get a kick out of it. I knew you'd get a kick out of it. All right, finally, last one here. I got one more thing. I got 2 dadgum many screens open. All right, this is the last one. And then we're going to get to some of your comments. This is amazing. Nicki Minaj takes to the TPUSA stage. I don't know if she's a fan of the Real Baron podcast or not. I don't know if she even knows what a Sam 000 is. But if she does, she said this. Oh, where'd it go? All right, I can't handle the awkwardness. No audio, really? Oh, man. I swear you guys deserve better than this. I swear you guys deserve better than this. This is the second time I failed you tonight. Absolutely. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. This is unacceptable. Where did it go? Here we go. I think it's because I shared it on the wrong format here. See if you can hear this. Give me a quick answer.
Dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine. Yes, we did. I love you. I love you. You have to laugh about it, truly. I have been called every single thing, and you know what? God is so good, you let it roll right off your back. And this is what's so beautiful about this moment.
Absolutely, 100%, without a doubt, one of the most awkward moments I've ever seen on video. I've never seen anything more awkward than that. Here's my problem. I Googled, I Gemini'd, I Clauded, I Grokked, I Chat GPT'd. Hell, I'll even get on Yahoo in a minute. I can't find where assassin is a compliment. I don't even know what, unless you're saying she thinks he took Charlie Kirk's life or at least played a role in it. I don't know what else she's talking about. Nicki, do you watch the program? I think I might be the only person in America who's linked J.D. Vance to a potential plot here. And I don't even know that I've linked him. I've just raised the idea that a Sam 000 typically is a vice president. But I mean, I can't imagine what you were trying to say. There's nothing you can say where that is a something that makes sense. Oh, I was just complimenting him. He's amazing. He's an assassin. What? I mean, maybe you're saying he's really stealthy and sharp. I don't even know. Don't call me an assassin. Don't call me an assassin. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right, guys, let me get to some of your comments here. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with people. We cover a lot of good content here. If you're new to the program, welcome in. Happy solstice, 7th night of Hanukkah to each Bo and Bell and Baron's band of sleuths. Happy all of that and more to you, sir. It's December 21st. December 21st. How many conflicting reports of Charlie's dying? He instantly, then had a pulse, then surgery. Why on a dead man? Because you're lying liars from Liarville? Because you guys violate the 8th commandment all the time? I don't think they had a pulse. I mean, I think they were lying to buy time because that's what they do. They lie. Judge is here with his weird amount. I think I get the sweepings of whatever's left in the judge's checking account at the end of the month. Sunday, $9.99 super chat buys the entire seat of the Real Baron podcast, but you'll only need the edge. That's right. You don't need a whole seat to watch this podcast. No, sir. You just need the front edge. People forgot about Zachariah Qureshi. I did not. Made no sense to detain him unless he was their first Patsy choice, but he was right up front near CK, so the video would exonerate him. Switch to Patsy number 2. Oh, you're saying you think he was the initial Patsy and this was just a backup? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I hadn't considered that. I hadn't considered that at all. Acts 8:33, ladies and gentlemen. I'm old, so let me turn so I can see the light. In his humiliation, justice was denied him. Who will tell of his posterity, for his life is taken from the earth? All right. You heard it here first. Curious Joel. I tried to make a comment about some specific thing Candace revealed about a certain group of people in her last episode. And no matter how I edited, I couldn't post it. It wasn't that bad. Ben Shapiro, are you in the chat? More importantly, Ben Shapiro, are you controlling the algorithm? Are you controlling the algorithm? I saw a video where the SUV trunk came up right as they were doing hand signals that possibly shot in the SUV. Yeah, I think that was a Triggersmart video, actually. I see what they're saying, but I don't necessarily buy that. I don't think there was a gunshot. I'm starting to get to the point where I don't think there's a gunshot. I think what you're hearing on the crack thumps and why they're having trouble figuring out where those come from, I think that's crack echo. I'm to that point. I'm to that point. Let's see here. I hope you enjoy my new profile pic of falling asleep to you and Valhalla VFT's podcast. Hey, I've done it. Listen to this. This is not a joke. So I fell asleep the other day. Got Valhalla in the ears. He's on late. He's on the West Coast, I think. And so I'm up late. And I wake up. It's like 1:32 in the morning. He's still on. He's still live. He went live at like 7 p.m. I have no idea how long that show was. But I woke up. He was still on the air. And I thought, what the heck, man? Like I try to get you people to bed early. Who's watching Netflix? Nobody. No. We watch Baron, Ian, Valhalla. Yes. There's your lineup. That's all you need. Speaking of being awake in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. in Cape Town, wide awake, waiting on your opening monologue. You're definitely the OG of monologues. I hope I had one person that didn't like it. Had one person that didn't like it. Maybe more. I'm normally too cheap to super chat, but at the mention of the name of Jesus, I felt I had to support. Thank you for being upfront about the gospel. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just tired of being gaslit into the idea that we as Christians have to put everybody else first. I'm tired of it. You want to lead this country? Be a professing believer of Christ, or I'm not voting for you. That's where I am now. You want to be my city councilman? You want to be my state senator? I'm in the same boat, all up and down the ticket. I'm done. I'm done. Done. Let me see. I'm about to be a little selective because it's late and we have quite a few here. Holy every single word of your intro. Nailed it. Yes, boss. Totally nailed it. Thank you for going. Max, happy Christmas to you and your family. Thank you. Does Candace know about my electrocution theory? She does. She heard from someone that the hands did not look in person like they looked on the video. I am not as convinced as she is. I don't know who she talked to, but I don't know that I trust that person. Electricity takes the path of least resistance, so if you got to hit via microphone, then the electricity would travel through his conductive body to any other metal touching near his body. Don't forget, well, I'm not going to comment on the flow of electricity. I'm not going to comment on it. Amen, sir. Well said. We stand alone together. Yes, Major, we do. Okay, you win. The government clearly was complicit in murdering an American citizen. What do you recommend now? Email congressman, take up arms. Not the last part. I don't recommend taking up arms. We're not there yet. I think we just have to keep going. I think we have to get to the point where the evidence becomes so overwhelming that nobody can ignore it. Just like, it's becoming pretty well known that the government and maybe foreign governments had a role in killing JFK, and it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald from the Texas School Book Depository 6th floor window. You know how people are pretty sure, or at least a lot of people becoming growingly aware that the idea that in 1969, using less computing power than is available on an abacus, they somehow made it to the moon on one tank of gas. But now they're talking about needing like 32 rockets and we can't get there. I think you just continue. Urgent email tip sent from Shabby Girl. All right, I'll look. Baron, I'm very much saved and Christian and a proud Democrat. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. That statement was wrong and only divides us. Many Dems are Christians. Still love your channel. Yeah, maybe. They're single issue voters. I'll give you that. they're single issue voters. But what I'm saying is, I'm speaking in generalities. Like, generally speaking, when you think of like a guy who goes to First Baptist in small town America, who's he voting for? Right? He's voting for Trump. You think of a guy who is like anti-Christian, hates God, that guy voted for Kamala. That guy voted for Biden. He voted for Obama. I'm just talking in vague generalities. Yes, you'll have some single issue voters, and maybe that's you. I think if you look at the totality of the two platforms, it becomes a little more difficult. But a single issue voter, like, yeah. I mean, hell, I might become a single issue voter on these wars. You run somebody that says, I am going to withdraw from every foreign entanglement anywhere on the earth. I don't care what letters after the name. You're getting my vote. You're stealing it. You're basically forcing me to vote for you. God bless you and Merry Christmas. Well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well. As a Christian, I cannot disagree with your perspective regarding Christmas and Jesus. God first, family first, and country first. Attempting to alter this is simply fraud. Yeah, thank you. Did I see Candace show last show where she said Erica was meeting her ex-boyfriend? I saw that. It will be very interesting to see how that holds up. I don't hope it holds up or not holds up. I hope the truth holds up, whatever the truth is. If Mitch is to be believed. And look, here's my problem. I don't know Mitch. I don't know anything about his record. I don't know anything about his integrity or his veracity, his propensity to tell the truth. I don't know. The only thing I know is that Candace allegedly has vetted where he was when he was, and somehow that matches up. Somehow that adds up. If it turns out that everything he's saying is true, there's a lot of explaining that needs to be done. If it turns out any of it falls short, if one person he put at Fort Huachuca can prove they weren't there, it's going to become problematic very quickly. To date, nobody has. Erica Kirk has yet to say, here's where I was on September 8th. Brian Harpole has yet to put out a legitimate piece of evidence that says, here's where I was at 7:30 a.m. on the morning of September 9th. Same with the ex-boyfriend, whatever his name was. It's got some prissy name. Chateau or something. Chateau Philippe. Whatever his name is. What's his name? Cabot Phillips. Cabot Phillips. That's a prissy name. He's probably a nice guy, but totally prissy. Actually, he's not, because I know where he works. And I can't trust him. Thank you, Mary. Very generous. Merry Christmas. Thank you for your time, dedication. Love your intros. The Black Charge were so profound. Glad you focused on them. Christ is King. Yeah, those, Chris is King. I don't know who Chris is, but he's not my king. The Black Charge changed the entire dynamic for me. No longer, as soon as I saw the black fragmented plastic in the back seat, this case totally fundamentally changed. Totally fundamentally changed. No longer was a bullet necessary. We now have the proof we lacked of why the shirt moved. I'm telling you, it was a total game changer for me. Total game changer for me. If government acquisition, you need help finding contract. I was stationed in Colorado Springs for 12 years. Do you have any question answered? Thank you, Big Daddy Waller. I was in the government contracting world for a little while. I know my way around a system or two. Your opening was the best. You're pulling all of this together for us. Thank you for all of your work. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. Very kind. Very, very kind. Oh, is this Turkish money? Are we big in Turkey? Is what you guys got to tell me? Is it you guys are using VPNs and so it thinks you're in Turkey, so it donates lira? Or are you really in Turkey and you're really donating lira? I've been wanting to ask somebody that. 100% agree with your opening. Thank you, Blanton. If that is your real name. Atlas Must Shrug. $99. Wow. $100. They don't do pennies anymore, so that'd be rounded up in any store. Thank you, Atlas. Very, very generous. Very, very kind and generous. All this connecting is really scary. They blew up an entire plant to get rid of evidence. They paved over an entire crime scene to get rid of evidence. It seems that way. And in my opinion, that's very possible. I'll say that. I don't want to state it as fact quite yet. But it sure seems that way. There's a lot of timeline and overlap that seems to make a lot of sense. And there's some additional stuff on that plant that I did not release today because I've not run it down all the way. It's even more suspicious than I made it. Believe it or not. You guys can't say I try to shade everything. Like, I purposely withheld 2 key facts that make it look even worse for that plant. I purposely withheld them because I'm not more than 50% sure on them yet. But when I get there, we're revisiting this. Thank you, Super Sticker. God bless you too, Hebby. Think their PR strategy is pretty obvious once you watch the timing. Public speculation hits, then explanations and new details appear that just happen to address it. Yeah, I've noticed. Noticed. My big question, why didn't they have 1 or 2 security guys looking around protecting the scene? They all dove over the table. Doesn't security look for threats during the scene unless they knew already? Well, unless they had to tear stuff off of his body and cover him up and get him out of there. I'm to the point where that's what they were doing back there. They were tearing stuff off of his body and hiding it. That's where I am. I will also say there's a guy who pulls out something with a handle about this big or maybe bigger out of his front pocket, and you can see his hand doesn't wrap all the way around it. See how my hand doesn't wrap all the way around my hearing aid case? Whereas most pistols, they do. This is not a pistol, by the way. But most pistols, they do. Your hand wraps around it. I looked for things that you might use under your belt that your hand doesn't wrap around and the story doesn't get any cleaner. Let me tell you that. In my opinion, Triggersmart and Bray blew this case wide open. It makes the most sense given the plant explosion, the floorboard picture, and the resurfacing of the UVU venue. Thank you for your work, sir. Yeah, I think it was a great show. You guys should definitely give Triggersmart a subscribe and watch the program. Go over to Jon Aaron Bray on Twitter, JonAaronBray over on Twitter. And it's interesting. It's a different game after Candace showed the black plastic flex. It's a different game. It's a totally different game, which is why I took to the podcast Thursday and freaked out on air. More than one person said, "Why did you freak out?" That's why. It's a total game changer. You're killing it. 2 of Frank Turk's sons are in the Air Force. His oldest works for the Joint Staff. I knew that. I'm also worried about the hit piece Alex Jones has planned for Candace and her safety. I wouldn't worry about it. I doubt Alex has much more than an opinion. There's this, I'm not getting into that fight. I wouldn't worry about it. I doubt he knows much. Cuba by girl email. Interesting analysis. It was a pneumatic device. I'll read anything. If you send me an email, I'll look at it. Thank you. I'm driving. Oh, I'm sitting. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. If I ever tell you to close your eyes and you're driving, don't. Like if I ever, because I think in my opening, I said, close your eyes and picture conservative. No, don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. The very first thing I remember was that there may have been a ricochet from body armor fragment into neck. And I remember seeing a photo of the body armor at his collar. Can't find it, but the armor was skin colored. Anyone? No, I think that's just the fog of war. Everybody saw stuff that wasn't there. That was everybody's first impression on day one, because when the shirt moves that much, you assume something made contact with it. That's not what happened. From day one, I've been wondering if the mic exploded was connected to Charlie Kirk's shirt. Even have search history from a month ago where I was looking up if there are explosive devices like that. Well, there are. There are. Absolutely. I wonder if there's footage of who mic'd Charlie. There is. It was the Phillip guy, the 1776 hat. That's who mic'd him. Footage of how Hunter was able to ask second question. Was he approached? Footage of those moments may be on camera. Love from Elizabeth. There's some of it, yeah. Erica saying she knew everything in that early interview. I believe that. Great job, Aaron. God bless. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. Doss Green. Thank you. Very generous donation. You guys are very generous. So what are you saying is, so what you were saying is they destroyed the plant that produced the explosive. A mysterious shooter killed an MIT professor who could be involved in a computer program. They put concrete over the area of the crime, allegedly. Yeah. I'm saying all that's probable. Look, they paved over the crime scene for a reason. If there are little black flecks and explosive residue, or you can't leave that there. Like, that has to go away. Because you don't think when Ian was there, when George Webb was there, when Gary from Paramount was there, when who else? Stephen Gardner was there. A lot of people have been to that scene. You don't think any of them would have looked around at the ground and go, "Oh, there's flecks." And all it takes is one person having a seizure right there because they get this explosive residue on them. And now you got a real problem. Super Chat is in support of your excellent going Christ Max opening. Yeah, that's just where I am. I'm tired of it. People can come to their own conclusion. I don't judge you, but that's who I'm voting for. Does the FBI have the mic and the handheld mic? I have no idea. I have no doubt they have something. I don't know whether it was the stuff that was used. What about a World War II era incendiary round M1 30-6 containing the IM-11 compound? The lacks of exit. Oh, man, there's a lot here. I don't know. That's a lot, Katie. You bringing that to me at 8 minutes till 8 on a Sunday night? I will admit I had looked up the there are certain types of rounds that produce electrical charges when they hit. I looked those up. So if that's what you're talking about, I have looked into that actually. Used to get excited about Sunday Night Football. This is way better. You talking about sports ball? Love the show. I used to get excited about Sunday Night Football back when the Colts were good. Yeah, sports have lost it for me. I used to be a big sports nut. Let me see if I can find it easily. There's a book called The Ponce's by, I know it's on that bookcase, but I don't see it. There's a book called The Ponce's by Blaise Pascal. He was like a 15th, maybe a 14th century French philosopher. And there's several essays on diversion. And he talks about how when you divert your attention, this is the big cause of diversion today, ladies and gentlemen, this right here. But in his essay, he's talking about diversion of fox hunting or the diversion of big game hunting. But he says when you're diverting your attention, it's because you're scared of your own mortality. You're not right with God. And I take that to heart with sports, and I try to put them in their proper place. Don't replace your God with an oblong leather ball. Your electrician theory makes sense. Charlie's hand at the funeral, they always place the left hand over the right hand. The only time when they don't is when someone is obese, hands too small. Are you telling me fatties get their own funeral? I'm looking this up. Funeral hands. Will that get me there? Funeral hands casket. Will that get me there? Images? Is that that's how I sleep. Oh my gosh, they do. Wow. It's always that way. Why were his not that way? That's weird though, y'all. I look like I'm dead when I'm sleeping, I guess. I sleep just like that. On my back, hands over my stomach, one hand over the other. I had no idea. That's weird. That's weird you picked up on that. Charlie was not obese. I didn't know fatties got their own funeral either. They get their own like funeral rites. We would cross your hands, but you liked Krispy Kreme and soda. So your hands are going to be separated for all of eternity. Now, maybe they put them in a way that as your body kind of goes down over time, they'll make their way back together. Like they start out here because you're too big, but over time they kind of come in, and then like 10 years later, you're down enough that they kind of come in. That could be. Love the opening statement. Thank you, Edge. Fantastic coverage. Triggersmart and John nailed it. We have Baron Asms too. Hey. They're the best. Captivated, waiting for the next investigative discovery. And when we align, it's yes. We're working on it. Wow. Courtney, thank you. Your opening statement, sir. Chef's kiss. Mwah. Mwah. You're spot on. We're done and 100% not going to compromise. Bad cop, Merry Christmas. I'm done. I'm telling you. The best way you can lose, in my opinion, people are sick of it. The best way you can lose an election right now as a Republican or any kind of conservative, run someone who's not a Christian. We're done. I'm done. Thank you. Very generous, Courtney. You guys are amazing. For over an hour, we all heard reports about Charlie Kirk being alive but critical. This aligns with Chess Pew Pew narrative, who gave these reports. I can only assume those were coming out of TPUSA to kind of give up try to make it look like something. I don't know. This has been my theory from the first week. Tyler was never on the roof, never fired that gun. His role at most was taking the gun to where he was told to take it. Fellow trial attorney here. Yeah, that's been my theory for a while. I don't think he was on the roof. I think someone was on the roof sheerly to make noise. Or just to be seen running away, to draw attention towards the rifle. Like, if there's nobody running from the scene, are the feds going to be able to direct the local cops, hey, you should look there? Oh, we just looked there. Look there again. Oh, we ran our dogs over there. They didn't see anything. Look over there again. Look, move right, back, two steps. Now move the leaves. You see that towel? Open it. Oh, there's the gun. There it is. There's the gun. Good job, local cops. Because that's how it worked. Love your opening statement. One of my favorite podcasts. Been waiting all day for your show. Great work. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you. Very generous. Thank you, Tracy. Letting Tom Artyom Alexandrovich go unpunished would only embolden other predators to seek opportunities overseas to harm children. Yeah, I don't know if you're quoting somebody. I saw your quote. Yeah, I mean, anybody who comes to the United States and seeks to harm children. He's talking about, I think, an Israeli national who came over here for a conference or something, security, maybe a computer conference. And while he was here, tried to hook up with an underage child, or at least got caught trying to. I think is the story. I'm not 100% sure all the details, but instead of holding him here and making him serve prison time, they let him go back to Israel. Like, what? Likewise, if somebody does that over there and they're American, don't let them come back here. Punish them. Throw away the key. Super sticker. Dorinda, thank you. You guys are incredible. Dorinda, back for more. 20. Thank you, Dorinda. Twice. Super sticker. Why isn't there a completed and released autopsy? I'm sure it's complete, but I just don't think it's been released. And that's going to be up to Erica. I think she's the owner, right? Wouldn't the next of kin be the one who gets to determine if it gets released? I don't know Utah law. Keep up the great work. We never miss a pod, and our 1-year-old gets just as excited for you, Candace, Tucker, and Ian as she does Mickey. Your 1-year-old is brainwashed. Hey, brainwash your kids. Can't wait for Baron, Ian, Nate collab. Stay safe. Yeah, Nate dropped that bomb on his show the other day. We're going to try to put that together. I'm in. I guess Ian would be in as well. I'm not going to speak for him. Ian, you're in. Ian's in. You should brainwash your kids. The left is going to brainwash them. You might as well brainwash them. Like, anyone telling you not to brainwash your kids is telling you that so they can brainwash your kids instead. Brainwash your kids. Indoctrinate them. Raise them upright. Teach them the way to go. Don't listen. Don't listen to anyone who tells you, oh, the kid will make their own decision. Okay, yeah. This kid's 4. The kid's not making his own decision. No 4-year-old makes their own decision. Or else they're going to eat cookies 3 times a day for meals. Hey, Baron, atheist whole life, looking into Catholicism first after learning about the Shroud of Turin. Second, how you carry yourself. Oh, thank you. How would I get started? And your thoughts on the Shroud of Turin. I'm pretty intrigued by it. Modern science can't replicate it. It appears to me to be what it purports to be. Reasonable minds can disagree. But, and I'm aware that the 1200s, I'm not doing a whole show on the Shroud right now, but I'm aware there's some debate and good faith debate, but I'm pretty confident it is what it is. As for how I carry myself, well, thank you. I hope I'm never judged by my lowest moments. I've certainly had some. But I like to judge people by their complete body of work, myself included. And how would you get started into Catholicism? First, find a good priest and talk to that priest about how to get started. As soon as you can ask your priests, do you believe, do you believe in the transubstantiation, right? Like every priest should say yes. Like ask your priest some pretty introductory things. Do you believe in angels and demons? As soon as you get a no on anything pretty big, like pretty basic and fundamental, walk away and find another one. There are bad priests out there, just like there are bad Baptist preachers. I see them all over Twitter. Whoever Alibis Stuckies is bad. So whoever's teaching her is bad. So what I'm saying is just find a good one and then say, what do I need to do? And they'll work with you. A good one will work with you. Maybe I missed previously. How were you able to see the burns under his shirt, just under his nipple that you talk about? I have access to a photo that I've been asked not to make public, but I was told I can describe it, and so I have. Maybe that we'll work on that. We'll work on that. But that's why. That's why. Baron, in my opinion, Coleman. In my opinion, my last name is Coleman. Glad I found you. With your intelligence and personality, your channel will explode in a good way. Not like Charlie Kirk's microphone. As a fellow Catholic, I genuinely pray you don't change. Stay humble and always seek the truth. Arm yourself with the sacraments. I'm doing my best, sir. I'm doing my best. I can't. No, I can't. I can guarantee. I mean, look, I'll quit before I go the bad way. Like, I watched Chappelle's thing last night, his new special. And he was like, look, I'm going to give you a code word. If I ever utter the code word, you know they've got me. And his code word was, I stand with Israel. My same code word. Could they have been setting it up to look like a murder, with Charlie believing he would only be shocked and then go into hiding, but the impact was far greater than expected? Maybe he wouldn't even have had to go into hiding. Sent you an email on Friday of black plastic falling from Charlie's left arm within 1 second of the shooting. I have been on this explosion theory and see plastic falling back on September 20th. I'll check that. I have not checked every email from Friday to now. I've gotten a little behind this weekend. I had a child's birthday to celebrate. I had to get away from my computer for a little while. I knew I was going to spend the bulk of today preparing for this program. And so I had to get away yesterday and just put it away. I didn't do the show Friday that I usually do. I did it Thursday instead. So I just switched those days around. But I knew Ian was going to be live Friday and Val. It was selfish. Ian was going to be live and Valhalla was going to be live, and I wanted to watch them both. Really what it came down to. So sorry about that. Stop teasing us with what you think. Oh, well, you're just kidding. I don't tease. Charlie was in on it. Erica was in on it. They were all in on it, and they blanked it up. The best laid plans, liars often fail. They've been trying to cover it up ever since. I'm starting to wonder how much truth there is to that, sir. I'm starting to wonder if it wasn't a production gone awry. Kelly Rabone was in the interview with Jon Bray and Triggersmart. Go follow her. She's smart and fun to watch. I didn't catch her name. And she was having some audio issues, so she wasn't a full participant, because I don't think John could hear her if you go back and watch that. But what she did say, I liked quite a lot. She had a great presence. It just, I was talking about his channel and the guest. I wasn't slighting her by any stretch of the imagination. I wonder where the plastic fragments are. They could be tested for explosive material. I'll tell you where they are. In the dump. They totally gutted that car and sold it at auction. That's where it is. Why do you think they did that? Why do you think they sold it at auction? Because if they'd have put that thing back into fleet service, the FBI could have showed up later and go, can we dust this for explosives? And it would have been all over the place. Now, good luck finding it. Charlie thought they were going to kill him, agreed to fake his death. Plan went bad, and he really died. I don't think he planned to fake his death. I don't want to go that far. I'm not saying that. I'm absolutely not commenting on that. That is not my position, and I don't believe I'll ever get to that position. My position is slightly more nuanced than that. Thank you for your investigation. However, I'm now heartbroken to finally realize our country is just as corrupt as the others we have historically looked down our nose at. Just so sad. Yeah. When I was a kid, we used to, I grew up, I was a kid in the 80s. right? I was born in the late 70s, kid all through the 80s and 90s. The Soviet Union was the evil empire. You know, we had Rocky fighting the Russian, Ivan Drago. We had Wolverines, Red Dawn fighting the Russians, right? Coming in the United States. That was like our dream. Like we grew, every day we woke up, we were like, is that guy Russian? Like we wanted a shot. It's just how we lived. Every Russian was evil and awful. Every American was phenomenal. That's just how we lived. Every day of our life was, you know, and I remember at the time, I you know, as a naive 8-year-old, you're like, now, why do we hate the Soviets again? And they're like, you can't say what you think over there. We have freedom of speech here. You can say anything you want, and there are no consequences. You go over there and you say something, and the police show up at your door. I watched a video on Twitter today. A guy in the United States, in Detroit, I think he was, posted some meme, and the FBI showed up at his door. I go back to 1987. Why do we hate the Soviets again? Because if you say something and they don't like it, the police will show up at your door. I'm thinking, we're here. We're here. Why would Charles McClintock Wilson allow you? Would he allow you to crop only the wound and show us? Literally only the wound, where nobody could tell whether it's Charlie Kirk or just a pic of a wound off Google. Someone may recognize the wound and know its source. That's my plan. I intend to ask him that. I'm just not there yet. I'll get there. I'll get there. I've got so much on my plate. You don't know how busy I am. I do intend to get there when I'm ready to do it. See, here's the thing. There's a whole line of thought that goes with this. And it's pointless to have. I'm not just going to show the picture for shock value. If I can't tell you what I think it is, I'm not going to show it. Well, I'll show it anyway. But I don't want to show it before I have an idea of what I think it is. And I think I'm close. I think I'm close. Working on it. Blue t-shirt, guard, and female cam op are on camera having convo 5 minutes before events. Security guard points to where the shot to come from and points to his neck. Girl immediately does same thing. Oh, I have not seen that. I have to look that up. I haven't seen that. Where's that video? Can you email that to me? realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Where are my banners? Oh, there they are. Which one is there we go. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Someone asked for my Venmo earlier. There you go. Don't forget to subscribe, click notifications, like. All right, back to the NP Lisa, thank you. And you listen. Wow. Average fishy boy. Mike McCash makeup artist equals Hibbs. Mike McCash. Is this the guy? Does he have bigger legs than Butch Hibbs? Because if so, then it very well could be him. He looks bigger. I'm telling you what, I am weirded out by that. The whole Butch Hibbs looking like a different person thing. I don't know. Oh, let's see here. Cabot Phillips, aka Erica's ex, spotted with Erica 98 for Huachuca 99, has a photo on his IG showing the word pizza tattooed inside his lip. And creepy replies, he's replacing Charlie on campus events currently. WTF. I'm still weirded out. His name's Cabot. Like, I can't get over that part of it. I can't. Like, be careful what you name your kids. Be careful what you name your kids. You give them a weird name, they might be weird and tattoo pizza inside of their lips. You never know. What I really appreciate you about you, Baron, is that you're willing to openly and thoroughly explore different possibilities instead of shooting them down or mocking them. You, Candace, and Ian are truly number one. Thank you. Yeah, I've looked into a lot of different theories. I'll just follow them where they go. I've looked into probably 10 or 20, including Palm Gun Guy, that I just cannot get behind, and so I never raise them on the program. But when I finally get to a point where I'm like, hey, wait a minute, that at least needs to be investigated, I bring it to you. You guys email me. You give me your thoughts in comments and chats, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out one way or the other. If Charlie had a fake plot, he was certain TP was infiltrated. but he ended up dead. Who's the rat who shared the plan to fake it and close enough to him to know the infiltration fake plot? So let me. I guess I got it. I've said too much. I got to go ahead and give you a little more. I don't think Charlie would have faked his death. I want to be clear about that. I don't think he would have faked his death. I do think it's not out. I think it's in the realm of possibility. He could have potentially wanted to fake getting shot. I hate to say it. It sounds weird. But I mean, he braced. I can't get over it. He braced. I can't get over it. I don't know if he did or not. I don't know if he faked it or he intended to fake it or he was planning on faking it or if he was in on it. I don't know. I do know he wasn't shot in the neck with a 30-06. I do know Tyler Robinson didn't shoot him with a gun. I do know his shirt moved in a way that it looks like there was some propulsion under his shirt that was not extrinsic to his body, that was not extrinsic to his shirt. I mean, it was under the shirt. I do know that. I do know all of that. I'm confident in all of that. Maybe he was unaware. There's one thing I'm running down. If I can get to that, I think I'll know the answer one way or the other. I'm very close to getting it too. Baron, you're on the right track. 100% the exploding mic pack on his chest is the most plausible explanation given to date, man. He was never supposed to take neck damage. Great work, man. I'm a new fan, and I think it's important to support your work. Thank you, Alaska Savage. Very generous donation for a new fan. Very generous. And let me say this. I think the exploding mic pack has merit and needs to be investigated. I think the necklace has merit and needs to be investigated. I do not trust for a second Erica Kirk having access to that necklace all night before Charlie Kirk left the next day. I think the idea that she held it up out the window was creepy to me. It was like holding up a trophy. And that St. Michael medal doesn't look real to me. Like, that's not one you would buy in the store that I'm aware of. And any competent bench jeweler could make one. And so if you were going to compromise jewelry like that, then that's how you would do it. You would have two of them made, one of them compromised, one of them not compromised. You would hold it up afterwards. You would make a big deal about the FBI checked the SUV and the necklace was just laying right on top of the bag. It was just laying right there on top of the bag. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Ken Simpson. 5150. Is that 5150? Doesn't that mean you're crazy? Doesn't that mean you're nuts? Join the crowd, brother. It makes sense now why they removed the dirt and paved over the area. That makes the most sense to me. It makes no sense if he got shot in the neck why you would do any of that. It makes total sense if there's an explosion you got to cover up. They removed the black powder and cyclonite and plastic from blast. Hurry and get SD cards too. Yeah. Yeah. It makes the most sense to me as well. Two different people. Oh, you talking about Butch? For whatever reason, every time a camera was on, that man was intentional about getting in front of it. He wanted to place a Butch Hibbs at the scene during the aftermath for some reason. It looks like two people to me. I'm not married to that idea. It looks like it. It's weird. I thought it was fun. It was a heavy show. I thought we'd keep it light towards the end with is this Butch Hibbs? The tag on Butch's shirt was red and then turned black in the later pictures right above the left pocket. I'll have to go back and check that. I didn't notice. Did they debunk the special effects guy that looks like Butch Hibbs being there? I don't think so. I've not heard they've debunked that. Butch is the same in all pictures. The sleeve hides the pocket in pic 2. The lighting changes his beard, but the dude is still the dude, and he's still in on it. I can't say he's in on it, but he's creepy. He's totally creepy. No offense, Butch. Your brother's creepy too. I just call it like I see it. I also know a guy that lives in Smyrna. They used to work in radio. If you get to that point, you want a producer. Also, is Nicki Minaj high drunk? Did she say assassin Vance? What the? Yeah, she did. She did say that. I am going to have somebody help me produce the program. I've talked to a couple of people. I'm real weird about, because this is in my house, I'm real weird about people coming in my house. So I am talking to people I know. And I'm talking about people doing it remotely, so maybe we'll see. I'd like somebody I know. No offense to you people I don't know, but CK became rich and got his family and friends rich from TPUSA's grift. He was murdered because of greed and power. The worst is TPUSA is trying to use Christianity to shield their grift. Tyler Robinson wasn't the shooter. Charlie Kirk was killed by his closest. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty like it. I mean, I might not have used all those words, and I might have thrown an allegedly or that's my opinion in there. But yeah, that's kind of where I am on all of it. I'm so sick of the Christian grift. Like, Christianity's an exclusive club. Look, it ain't for everybody. But stop this business about like, well, here's how Christ said you could be saved. But you get a DNA exception if you're born in a certain area. No, you don't. You don't. Like, you're judged on, go read Matthew 25. You're judged on your own merit. You're judged on your own decision. You're judged on whether or not you do the acceptance routine. That's how you're judged. The goats and the sheep. There's no DNA exception. Stop telling. Hey, let me tell you. Let me pull this down real quick. Thank you for your comment. Panther Minus, you're very generous. This number of times you've done this $50 gift. Thank you. Let me say something. If you know the gospel requires certain things and you go tell an entire group of people they get a free path and don't pass and don't have to follow it, you're evil. Because you just doomed them. You just condemned them. Like, if Jesus said everybody has to go get a tattoo of a star on their chest, I'm just saying, like, if those were words in red in the Gospels, they're not, by the way. Don't go do that. I mean, if you want to, fine, but don't do it because I said it. But let's just say Jesus said that. Hey, it's super easy, guys. You want to be a follower of mine? You got to get a star tattooed on your chest. And if you don't have it, you're not getting in. And that was like the end of this chapter. And then they turn around and he's off, gallivanting around and talking to mustard trees or something in the next chapter. Like, the chapter's over. And then you go out to someone and you say, I know Jesus said this about the star, but you're good. We know who your folks are. You're fine. Like, you don't really have. No, you're evil at that point. You're evil at that point. If you're giving people exceptions that aren't in the book, you're evil. I'm sorry. I call a spade a spade. I want to get back to old school religion. Like, you might disagree with me, but at least you know where I stand. That's it. That's it. Thoughts on Alex Jones' comments on Candace Owens? I watched them. I didn't see much there. It was like a 32-minute video that he could have done in 10 seconds. Like, I don't like what she said. Okay. Cool, bro. I like some of the things Alex says. I don't like some of the things Alex says. I'm supposed to do a 32-minute video saying I don't like it every time he does something I don't like? Come on. Stop it. Stop it. This whole idea that people are worried about I'm so worried about her. Oh, I'm so worried. You should see how scared I am for Candace's mental health. Stop it. Stop. We're all grown-ups here. We're all grown-ups. Just say I disagree or I agree, whatever. But stop with I'm so scared for her mental health routine. It's just not right. JD Vance is a hunter. I saw him and his buddies on a podcast when they were getting together to go hunting. Makes you wonder. No, it doesn't make me wonder. Like that, a lot of things make me wonder. That's not among them. That doesn't make me wonder at all. Can you imagine a world where the sitting VP, was he going to climb up there in a $6,000 suit, belly roll up to the front of the Losi Center, lean out there? Come on. This one's for you, Usha. No, stop it. Does not make me wonder at all. Doesn't make me wonder at all. Anybody tested the shot with a necklace, mic, and t-shirt, see in real life? Yeah, they have, and they can't get it to do it. I mean, that people say, oh, they got it, they recreated it. No, they didn't. Nobody recreated the whiplash around. Nobody recreated the thing flying up into the neck. Nobody recreated the microphone coming all the way across the shirt. Nobody recreated any of it. Stop it. You're lying if you say they did. After Charlie was shot, did you notice one security guard run, and before he did anything, he touched the metal tent post, turned and reached for his gun? No, I didn't. I'll have to go back and look at that. I wonder which one. I mean, he might have just been like turning the corner. Like my kids grab the banister when they turn the corner, and then every few months you got to tighten it up. Hibbs was right next to the SUV when the trunk popped. Yeah, he was. He was also right in the line of sight between Harpole and Hunter Kozak. And he was also right next to a mysterious man who did not flinch when the shot or the bang went off, and he just went like this. He just looked up. Yeah, I've watched these videos a few times, sir. 2025, Israel Lions last stop. Israel Hammer, Lion. What is all this? I don't even know what all this means. If you're given codes, I don't know. I don't know what all that means. Best of luck to you. I see my birthday in there, though, 12/2. Merry Christmas, beautiful monologue about Jesus. Well, thank you, Roses. Thank you, Roses. With a name like Roses, you probably like Saint Therese of Lisieux. Saint Therese of Lisieux likes roses. Israel searched Rode microphone on July 28th after searching Lee Trotter and the Losi Center. Let me say this about, I've searched Rode microphones before I ever knew who Charlie Kirk was. Like that the problem with the searching is you got to there's a common sense element to it. It can't be such a common search that, I'm not making fun of you or anything. I'm just saying, lots of people search Rode microphones. Some probably the top 3 microphone brands in America or in the world. Let's not forget Candace introduced these types to the conservative via Kanye, Kardashian, Cardi, etc. Wake up, people. You're being played by her. What are you talking about? What is she? Who's introducing what? Introduced these types. Who are these types? I don't know what she's talking about. Thanks for your donation. Very generous. Isn't Hibbs' brother Pastor Jack Hibbs? Yes. The one who was first to declare Charlie dead? Yes. From Bibi Netanyahu. Well, from Israeli wire service, but yes. If that's the case, you have to wonder if that's why he was there. Ooh. Well done. Chill. I didn't put all that together. Thank you. That's a good point. I have not put that together. I don't know what a sec buck is. I think I've looked this up. This is the Swedish krona or whatever. Anders Labrund. Frank Turk in his phone. What if his purpose was to be antenna for a mesh network close to Charlie Kirk and Brian Harpole? Minivan trunk open to amplify source signal. So a mesh network, I can dig it. Yeah. I mean, I know what you're talking about. You use a phone to amplify a signal instead of being just receiving the signal. You're actually receiving and bouncing it back out. Yeah, I can see that. I don't. You mean so that Brian Harpole would be able to send a wireless signal quickly? I haven't thought about it. I mean, I haven't run that down, but I've at least on its face, I know what you're talking about. Charlie looked like he was set up to fake an attack or fake his death and got psyoped. They were hurting him under the table. It's heartbreaking. This feels biblical. I see the Spirit of God in you. Thank you for your kind words about me. Again, it's just something that I've crossed my mind and I've played with. The idea that maybe it was like, hey, Charlie, let's set this up to look a certain way. And then when he goes along with it, okay, now take him out. It would be a lot easier to take him out at that point. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. Because if he's playing along with it, he's going to be in the right spot. And he's going to, but again, this is just intellectual exercise realm. I'm not out here. Barron said Charlie's faking it. No, Barron didn't say that. In any of the pictures you have, as they carry him away, can you see his necklace? Yes. Frank Turk said it was on top of the bag in a vehicle, which means it was on Charlie as they carted him away. Yeah. There's one image where they're carrying him away where you can see it off of his right shoulder hanging down. So, yeah. I'm very curious by the guy who said he could see plastic within a second or so. I'm going to look at it. Could the burn at his side possibly be from an AED paddle burn, given the shape you described? If not applied carefully, the paddles can cause burns restarting the heart. Only if he got hit before the event. Like if he got hit yesterday, like the day before or 2 days before. I mean, is Charlie Kirk known to have heart trouble? He was 31. He was an athlete. I doubt it. Certainly wasn't under the table. In the picture I'm talking about, it was like 26 seconds after the bang. So he wouldn't have had time to get an AED, anything. Valhalla covered this in his last podcast. Charlie's real hands, as shown in photographs, were much larger than Erica's. The hands in the video with Erica are way too small to be his. Those are not his hands in the casket. I saw Valhalla cover that. I myself am 50-50 on whether those are real hands or heavily made up, burned up hands of Charlie's. Here's the problem. Which of my hands looks bigger? See that? Which hand looks bigger? This is how a 2D world works. See how one hand just seems to just consume the other? Now look. Now they switched. This is the problem. 2D world is very difficult to judge size. Many men have figured this out, by the way. Many men have figured out how to play the 2D camera angle. Don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. Butch Hibbs is a known drone expert and a professional drone pilot. He played a drone surveillance role during the op. I don't know if he's a known drone expert. I know he has a YouTube channel that only has drone footage. I don't know if he's a professional drone pilot either. I'm curious if you think that you have evidence of that. I'd like to see it. I did not see him flying drones, but he could have been there to oversee people flying drones. I'm late. I'm early. Watching the DoD contract part now, waiting on response for some previous FOIA requests, but we'll also try to pull more information about the details on the contracts you're showing. Thanks for giving us your time tonight. Well, the reason I didn't even bother putting in a FOIA request is I figured they would claim national security, being that it's an explosive. But I would be very curious about the procurement documents because they would be more specific about the place of delivery. I don't want to say any more about the place of delivery, but I am pretty confident on that part. I've not shared everything I believe I know, but I would love a FOIA about how the delivery will be conducted. I would love to see that. Baron, you are big in the Balkans. Euro-Asia, Russia next. Preach on, brother. Balkans need to reform. I don't know anything about the Balkans. They need to reform. It's ludicrous what's going on over there. Y'all shape up, please. We're not going to put up with this much longer. Y'all going to need a little freedom if you keep it up. Do you have oil? Shapiro ruined the TPUSA event. It wasn't anything representative of Charlie. I stand with Barron. I've had enough too. I'm not moving from this position with Barron. Lock arms with me, my new FY sisters. Lock arms. I'm not going anywhere. Like, you're not going to put up a Fed slop candidate and expect me to vote. I'm not doing it. I will sit home. But Barron, what about the midterms? You keep your midterms. This is what a Republican majority House, Senate, and President and Supreme Court has gotten us. I'll repeat it for those that don't like that I repeat everything, but here's why I do. The current situation we're in right now, like Charlie Kirk may have been offed in an op that involved at least some government actors, maybe. We're in this situation. We don't have Epstein files. We don't have JFK files we were promised. We don't have MLK files we were promised. Nobody's in jail from the Russiagate thing. They found some poor disabled kid and charged him with a pipe bombing that pretty clearly wasn't him, unless he's waving at fellow cops. This is what a Republican majority House, Senate, President, and Supreme Court get us? And I'm supposed to be like all ecstatic to run out and do it again? No. You give me a Fed slop candidate, I'm staying home. You give me someone who will admit Christ is king and tell me they're America first, I'll go vote. I really don't care what else they're talking about. I'm to the point now where, like, there's not a social issue I care about anymore. There's not. I'm pro-life. But the reality is we overturned Roe versus Wade and abortions are at an all-time high. Like, what do you do with that? If we go, we're going to go to war with Iran. We had to get Charlie out of the way first so we could go to war with Iran. Is that what happened? We're going to war with Venezuela? Like, this is not what I voted for. This isn't it. This is not what I voted for. Oni Bajer. Baron, you broke my brain. Fantastic monologue. Love the energy. How did they coordinate the sound of the gun and the injury to Charlie Kirk? Thank you for your voice. Thank you very much for your work. I thought you said for my voicemails. Like, when did I call you? I don't leave voicemails. If someone leaves you a voicemail, it wasn't me. They lied. Merry Christmas to you and your family. How did they coordinate the sound of the gun and the injury? Did you not see Dan Flood step forward and do that? What do you think he was doing? Like, he literally stepped forward and did that. Bang! And the coordination wasn't that great because there was a 0.43 second difference between the bang and the wound. And keep in mind, a supersonic round would arrive before the bang. That gets lost on some people. The fact that you heard anything before you saw movement means it wasn't a rifle. From 142 yards, that's far enough that in slow motion, the bang will arrive before the sound. I mean, the strike will arrive before the sound. That's enough distance to be able to tell a difference on a 60 frame per second. And what do we have instead? We have the shirt moving after the bang. Bang! And then the shirt goes up. Well, the shirt wouldn't go up first. The lie that we're being fed, the Fed slop narrative we're being fed is that the cavitation caused the necklace to go back, which caused the charm to come up, which caused the shirt to be, okay, great. Where's the hole? Why is the hole not there first? And do you understand what kind of cavitation you'd get if something blew up at 24,000 feet per second or even 10,000 feet per second right next to you? Or even 5,000 feet per second right next to your chest? You would get a little cavitation event, wouldn't you? $10. It feels a little wrong getting paid to read scripture, guys, if I'm being honest. I feel a little bit like Ben Shapiro here. All right, let me look. Proverbs 18:17. Those who plead the case first seem to be in the right. Then the opponent comes and cross-examines them. Ooh. Am I the cross-examiner? Hey, one of the greatest books I've ever read. If you have anyone going to law school, buy them the book, or even if you just like to think, The Art of Cross-Examination. It's got all kinds of examples going back to like the late 1800s, early 1900s. It's a really cool book. It's an older book. A lot of the actual practical application wouldn't work in courtrooms today, but it's really a cool way to learn how to think. It was an excellent read. I mean, I just devoured the book when I got it. The Art of Cross-Examination. I might be able to find a, let's see here. Art of Cross-Examination. Book by Francis Wellman. Yeah, that's it right there. Francis L. Wellman, Wellman. Francis, like of Assisi. The Art of Cross-Examination. Great book. Great book. Let's see here. 30.6 ammo with Antifa messages were not frangible rounds. Wouldn't the entire clip be frangible or fragmentation rounds? I don't know that we've determined what kind of rounds they were. Has anybody seen them? I mean, if you let me look at them, I mean, most people will be able to tell. If not, I'll defer to an expert who definitely would be able to tell, but I don't know anyone that's seen any of them. Do I have thoughts regarding the girl who's behind the large stationary camera in front of Charlie? By the way, love your show. Keep up the great work. God bless. Thank you, Kingwood. I do. Her name is, should I say her name? I don't know. I know her name. I'm not going to say it because I don't know if it's been public yet, and I don't want to dox the poor girl. I don't think she had anything to do with it. I think she twitched when she heard the bang, and that's what made the twisty. And then she looked back in the camera to make sure she was still centered, not knowing what was going on. I don't think she had anything to do with it. She seemed pretty close to the couple, Charlie and Erica. The vehicle's photos with black shards is the third row of the SUV. The second row would be bucket or 60-40 bench. Why put 6'6" Charlie Kirk in third row? Wow. Now we're cooking with grease. Maybe they took his shirt off, and that's what happened when the shirt came over. I don't know. I don't know the answer. That adds intrigue. That adds a lot of intrigue, actually. When that plant blew up, I said, wonder what they're covering up with that one. Yeah, I mean, plants typically don't blow up off the face of the earth. I mean, they typically don't. It really bothers me how they continue to post from Charlie's accounts. Thank you. I thought I was the only one who found that totally creepy and morbid. Like when I get a notification on my phone that says Charlie Kirk just said, really? It's creepy. Feels like they're burying his tweets, videos, etc. When anyone researches Charlie Kirk years from now, all they find is BB-approved videos and blatant F. Oh, gosh. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I'm looking for Charlie and all I'm getting is Blake Neff. Blake Neff, you liar. Yeah, I noticed about the electrical bolt. I saw that. Am I missing you tomorrow? Why would you miss me tomorrow? I should be on tomorrow night. We'll see. It'll either be tomorrow or Tuesday, but I think it'll be tomorrow. I wonder if anyone on the construction crew suffered any seizures after paving over the scene at UVU. I thought about reaching out to him, but I'm assuming so many people have reached out to him that they're probably tired of hearing from people. Was Butch Hibbs on Google Trends? Thank you for all your hard work. Very much appreciated. He was in multiple locations and under his original name, Bruce. I think it's Bruce Hibbs and Butch Hibbs. Libby, thank you. Gwen, please read this. I'm reading, Gwen. The Rode 2 wireless microphone was searched from I know that. I know that. I think Ian was using my data on that podcast, believe it or not. I'm aware. The problem is it's a common term. So I don't like sentences that start with so. You don't know me very well. You wouldn't do that. So you would vote for this is why. You would vote for a Christian Zionist over an American First atheist. I'm a patriot. It has nothing to do with religion. No, I wouldn't vote for either one of them. You misunderstand. You don't understand legal thought. Elements, sir. Elements. Not factors. Elements. Elements are required to be present in order for me to vote. Christian and America First. You can't be a Christian Zionist and be an America First. You're out. You can't be American First and be atheist. You're out. So I'm sitting home. If you give me those options, I'll watch and see how the election goes. I'll watch from my couch. I'm telling you, I'm done with their bull butter. Done with it. You give me a Christian who's America First, or I'm not voting. And if they want to say, well, you give me a Zionist or I'm not voting, good. Stay home. Stay home. We'll get our brains beat in. Whatever. Obviously, this isn't working. I'll be honest. The current Republican majority Senate, House, President, Supreme Court, it's not working. It's not working. We have very few deportations going on. We have no foreign policy that's changed from Obama. Basically, it's, whatever Israel tells us to do, we're doing it. We're looking to go to war again. I mean, if this is it, this is what we're getting. Okay, I'll stay home. I'm telling you guys, I'm tired of it. I'm just sick of it. Those are plastic mannequin hands in the casket, not Charlie's hands. I've considered that possibility. What is the current cause? What if the current caused the mic to pop? Well, if the current caused the mic to pop, that means there was an explosion in there. There was an explosive in there, which means there's been an explosive in there. The small red label on his pocket is gone after. I'm going to have to check that out. You guys, the second person that's raised this issue about Bruce Hibbs. I'm going to pull up the Life is Driving video and watch it after we're done. But if I don't pull it up, I'll forget. Oh, there it is. He's right there. I can look at it right now. Yeah, sure looks like it, actually. Now I got to go back and find the original and see if it was there before. How about that? You're right. It's just black. I'm done with it. Christianity first. I stand with you on that. Thank you, JJJJJJJJ Jones, 1970. I'm going to give you one J for every dollar or every L buck you donated. I don't know how many dollars that is, but thank you. Thank you. There is a problem with only voting for someone that professes to be a Christian. Most of the Republicans in office that are now putting America last are professing Christians. They're using it to get votes. At least they're admitting that it should be important to us. Like Josh Hammer gets on Twitter and says white Europeans hate Jewish people and it's in our DNA. Like that's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. If I said that about any other race, I'd be on some hate watch list. Like that's his position on me as a human being. He doesn't know me. That's his position on me, and I'm supposed to be like, yeah, whoever he tells me to vote for, bro, I'll be there. No, that's not it. And I'll figure it out in the primary. How does Mitch compare Harpole's gate? I didn't ask him. Compare energy transfer of pager bombs issued to Hezbollah officials by Israel to mic transfer. Yeah, I mean, but those were designed to kill or like severely maim, so they would have a different explosive charge. That's the thing. It's not 1-to-1. If I'm sending a piece of shrapnel into someone's chest to simulate a gunshot, that's different from I want to tear this person's head off. Those are different levels of charge. It might even be different explosives altogether. Coastline, thank you. Very generous conduct bucks there. Very interesting. What Nicki said was wild. All considered, I believe he was shot. I've seen a lot of wound channels from 22 LR to 338, and from a tactics standpoint, the transport of the firearm doesn't add up. God bless you, sir. Let's see here. All considered, I believe he was shot. Well, I disagree, but that's fine. The transport of the firearm, it doesn't add up. I don't know what you're trying to say with that. I mean, you're free to believe he was shot. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't. I'm just suggesting I don't. I'm completely off the gunshot wagon. I believe he was hit with a necklace or shrapnel from a microphone. If you don't like the microphone angle, then you don't understand that the microphone actually moved all the way over past his sternum. But say you don't like that, fine. I've got a necklace that goes into his neck. And I have a giant piece of plastic or something with two right angles that falls out of the wound. That ain't a bullet. Blood doesn't flow that way. I've been wondering about this with all the footage out there. Wouldn't someone have a frame that caught the bullet on camera somewhere? There were bullets flying in pics from Trump's rally, Jesus saves. You would have to get so lucky to find a bullet. I thought I saw bullets before. Now I think I pretty much saw just bugs. The percent likelihood with an iPhone you're going to catch a bullet is just not that high. I mean, someone might have caught one somewhere, but I think a lot of the things we think are bullets are just bugs. Like the bug just hits it just right and it lights up and it's just that one frame, and so you think you've caught a bullet. But I don't know. I'm not falling hard one way or the other there. May 1, 2025 was the same day, I'm guessing, EO 14291 was signed, creating a youth-focused movement. But the admin did not tap Charlie Kirk or TPUSA members. Well, do you just happen to know that, or did you look that up? Because that is oddly specific. Are you Donald Trump? Don't forget, I signed an order that day. Establishing Religious Liberty Commission. Huh. Yeah, how about that? News to me. Yeah, good use of donation there. I did not know that. Candace's images of the van's third row. There's no door on the opposite side, and you can see the seatbelt for the second row. Frank Turk's bag could be thrown between the second and third row chairs. So grateful to have found your show. Thanks, Ian. Best coverage out there. Thank you, whatever your name is. Liminal. Yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning about the inside of SUVs. I'm learning about the inside of SUVs. Grateful for the time you spent on everything, including airtime. Lord knows it takes you from your family. It does. God bless all of you. Keep standing for the truth. P.S. Get a producer. I'm trying. I have to be able to afford one. Nicki Minaj has used assassin before on X to describe J.D. Vance positively, meaning he's sharp, deadly effective in debates. Vance is an assassin. Don't debate him. I did not know that. I've never heard anyone referred to as an assassin, but well, that's not true. Chuck Person. He was a former not 3-point specialist, but he was a shooter. He was a Pacers player. And they referred to him, I think, as the assassin, if I'm not mistaken. Ian Carroll. Wow. Ian, thank you. 100. Baron, you got almost 25,000 people watching live, man. You're amazing. I'll have to rewind and rewatch the stream from the beginning, but nice work, man. You're a legend. Every view well-deserved. Everyone hit that like button and support. Yeah, hit the like button, subscribe. Ian, you're great. You're a legend. Absolutely wonderful. Like I said, that's why I didn't go Friday night, because I knew Ian was going to go, and I wanted to watch him. I wanted to watch Nate. And so I thought, you know what? I'll take the night off. And I want to watch some lives. I could always watch it the next day, and that's typically what I do, but I'd like to watch live sometimes with all of you. The chats are way more fun live. Thank you, Ian. Thank you very much. Baron, as a left Christian, like your other guest, I just want to say thank you, Ian, Candace, etc., for not going with a Fed slop that was 100% supposed to divide us as we were coming together on topics like Epstein and Iran. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. Let's put up this leftist shot Charlie. Oh, a leftist shot Charlie. How many times did Jack Posobiec say that? 100? We didn't buy it, Jack. We didn't buy it. You know why we didn't buy it? Because we're not as stupid as you are. Flight departed TUC 99945. Ooh, it's a lot of numbers there. Landed in Dallas, Fort Worth, 1257, allowing approximately a 45-minute connect before the one. Oh, interesting. So even if he had a boarding pass, that still might not prove he wasn't there. You're talking about Brian Harpole. Good call. Good call. Good message. Good message. I believe Christ was a very holy man. He is an ascended master, just not ready to claim an organized religion. Hope that's good enough to be accepted in the club. Much love from Memphis. Yeah, I invite you on our team. I'm not going to vote for you. I'm not voting for ascended master. I don't even know what that means. If you come to me and say, I'm running for Congress, my name's Misbehaving 007, I'm probably not voting for you based on that alone. But if you then tell me, I believe Christ was an ascended master, I'm going to say, cool story, bro. Who else was running? Can I vote for the other guy? But you're on the team. Yes, you can come on the team. I'm not saying you have to be an American First Christian to vote with us or to watch the show or to participate or to be my friend. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just not voting for you. I standing here and I'm not going anywhere else. Baron is a lawyer. Can you tell us where we can go from here? How can we get these leads investigated? They all keep saying we should just wait until the trial to see the evidence, but what if this never goes to trial? Yeah, we should not wait until this goes to trial. That is not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. We're not waiting for this to go to trial. We have to keep investigating leads. We have to keep looking at all of the things that are possibilities and running them down. Was he electrocuted? Let's find out. Let's talk to some electricians. Let's talk to some electrical engineers. Let's find out how it flows. Let's look at some better pictures of the area. Let's ask why the tent is up. Let's ask if this place is grounded. Was the mic grounded? Could the grounded lifted? If so, I mean, we need to ask all these questions. Did his thing explode? Well, let's find out. What were those black things in the thing? Are there better images? Let's now start investigating all the videos to see if we see black flecks coming off of them. See, this is how this works. It's crowdsourced investigation. This isn't me sitting back telling you what you're supposed to believe. If you come out of this and you say, yeah, I still believe in the trampoline neck theory like Nick Fuentes does. Okay, fine. I don't believe you. I mean, we fundamentally disagree on that, but whatever. Like, I'm not losing sleep over it. I'd like to know more about the video showing the energy burst from CK's shirt. Was this burst detected in the infrared or ultraviolet non-visible spectrum? I don't know that any of those types of cameras were running at the time. That's the problem. What we have is movement. That's what we have. We have movement. And movement movement at the speed we have it is almost unachievable by anything other than propulsion from under the shirt. That's what we have. Sniper. Do you know JD Vance? No, I'm just kidding. He could have known he was surrounded, known it was going to happen, chose to go through with it, knowing the world would see it. He saw his end. Maybe he really did and chose not to fight. Now, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That would be, I mean, that's basically suicide. If you know you're going to be killed and you just stand there and take it, this is, you know. I'm not talking about like a martyrdom. I'm talking about just you get murdered. That's suicide. You got to fight it. You got to fight. I mean, go back and read G.K. Chesterton's Orthodoxy. What is the ultimate sin? It's suicide. Why? Because you've given up hope. You've given up hope. Don't give up hope. Can you look at the ground where they carried Charlie Kirk to see if pieces of microphone out of his shirt? Yeah, we just don't have a lot of good video from that vantage point. That's the problem. I mean, we can look. We can go back. And that's what I'm saying. We need to go back and examine all this video. I need your help. I can't do it all. You guys are, I'm knighting you. Boom, 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 boom. Go forth and investigate. If you got one of these, you're an investigator. Start reading. Start looking. Start looking. I think they took the SIM card because the footage shows what the security was doing to CK's body, among other things. Candace saw parts of the video, not the entire thing, if I'm not mistaken. I think you're right. I think you're right. He was cremated. I don't believe that's accurate. He might be now, but I don't believe that's accurate. Candace said the other day she verified that Vance wasn't on that plane. She said he was in D.C. Go Max, love your show. I don't miss it. Thanks for all your hard work. I don't agree with that verification. I don't agree with it. I think the way I understood what she said is she was saying he wasn't in that meeting, and I think that was the September 9th meeting. I never said or suggested he was. There was no Sam 000 at that meeting. There was a Sam 702 at that meeting. The Sam 000 was August 25 and August 26. And I have yet to see any image of JD Vance anywhere else while that plane was in the air, on the ground in Colorado Springs, or in the air back to Camp Springs, Joint Base Andrews. I've not seen any image of JD Vance anywhere else. If I'm all ears, like I would love nothing more than to think the sitting vice president of the United States has clean hands. That would make me giddy. This is not me hoping I'm right. If anything, it's me hoping I'm wrong. I would love to see evidence that he wasn't there. Love to see evidence he wasn't there. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So I disagree with her conclusion until I see the actual evidence. Someone telling me that there's some video exists is not me looking at the video. I want to see the video. If the video exists, show it to me. Play it on your... You got a podcast. Play it. Trump's secret succession plan to put Charlie Kirk in the Oval Office and groom a shock new VP. What's the succession plan? Charlie was only 31. He couldn't be president for at least 4 years. I mean, two election cycles away. He's not old enough. Bottom line is you must believe that Jesus is the Messiah. Talk about Christianity? Like that's the definition of Christianity? Yeah, that's it. The week you start questioning if JD was on the Sam flight, it starts circulating that CK was JD's guy for 2028. I'd like to believe it. Just can't help but wonder if it's to direct attention away. Hey, let me just tell you this. Anything that comes out of TPUSA's mouth is bull doo-doo. I don't believe it. I don't want to hear what Charlie would have done. I don't want to hear how much Charlie loved someone. I want to see evidence. I want to hear videos of Charlie speaking, or I don't want to hear anything about it. Period. Like, that's it. And let me tell you, you've hit on something here that I've kind of stayed away from. You notice, maybe I've said this. I don't know if I've said it to you. I've said it to other people. I don't know if I've said it to this beautiful audience. They were fine sitting back and letting Candace and everyone else, Ian, me, Valhalla, initially Stephen Gardner and others, they allowed everybody to sit back and investigate. Triggersmart, Jon Aaron Bray, everyone. Ryan Matta, Blake Bednarz, everyone was fine to sit back and let us just investigate our little hearts out of it until Candace said something about that September 9th meeting. And then everybody threw a hissy fit. And now all of a sudden she had to stop. She was hurting people. That's when she had to stop. And when we mentioned electrocution, and we mentioned that he might not have been shot at all, like the world ended. I don't think you're wrong here to see the timing and think this doesn't add up. Why, when we were talking, when we were asking the question, not this channel, every channel, when everyone was asking the question, could he have been shot from the Sorensen Center instead of the Losi Center? Nobody was asking anybody to stop. No one was being called evil. No one was being told we were jeopardizing the 2026 midterms. Nobody was saying any of that. It was like, go for it. Let's just look at the angles. Did it come from behind? They let us sit there for weeks and examine all these different angles and everything else. And all of a sudden it was like, hey, there was a meeting at Fort Huachuca. You guys are evil. Hey, could he have been electrocuted? You have to stop. Stop now. I'm flying to Nashville. Fort Huachuca was, you guys have to stop. Electrocution was, I'm flying to Nashville. I don't think it's a coincidence on the timing. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. Charles Guy, who posted those CKH and Hibbs pics on Facebook back in July, he was posting a lot about the Sabbath, clearly in disagreement with Charlie Kirk and sharing videos of Charlie Kirk speaking about Sabbath, Grace Chapel, Heber City. Let me tell you, I think Heber City was I think a lot happened in Heber City. I think a lot happened in Heber City. I just sent you an IM through Facebook, important info. Please send important info to realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Do not email my personal email. I know I gave it out one time so that Adam from Life is Driving could email me and get on the show before I had the other email address set up. Maybe one day I'll get other email address set up that's better and more private or whatever. Right now I'm using Gmail, realbaronpodcast@gmail. Please direct all messages through there. I don't check the Facebook. I don't check the other emails. I just got to have one central location. Otherwise I go crazy when there's stuff everywhere. So there might have been a third object under his shirt, separate from the mic pack and cross, that he was aware of. Do you think Charlie would have allowed a patsy to be set up? If he thought a patsy truly believed he was involved in a conspiracy to kill him, yes, I think he would have allowed him to be set up. I don't think he would have let him be set up for the murder, but I think he would have allowed him to be set up for the conspiracy to commit murder because he would have been guilty of that. Yeah, I do. I don't think he would have faked his death and let a patsy be set up for it. But I do. 100%. Story fed to social media was that a curse was put on Charlie Kirk by an influencer online. I heard that. They had a priest visit, do a prayer. I heard that as well. Was it so EK could get CK to wear a piece of jewelry different than his usual? Muy interesante. I don't know. That's interesting. Is that what got him to start wearing the St. Michael medal? I don't know. I don't know. If your theory is correct that CK was in on it's not my theory. It's something I've thought about. Let's be clear. Words have meaning. Would that explain why Michael McCoy walked away? Could it mean that he's innocent? Oh. Well, this is a new development. It could. It very well could. I mean, this is not my theory, but let's just take this intellectual exercise a few steps down the road. If Charlie Kirk was in on potentially staging a gunshot wound to the chest, again, not my theory, just something I've bandied about, talked about, thought about. And Mikey McCoy was aware of that part of it, but would not have been aware about the conspiracy to commit murder. Yeah, in that situation, he would be. I don't know that I buy that, but it's an interesting thought. Cabot is a weird name, but the pizza tattoo is in Pizzagate. What kind of people are running Turning Point? Demons, liars, fornicators. Do you need me to keep going? Allegedly. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Comedians tend to call their peers they respect assassins because they can be relied on to go and kill. Have a really good set. I think Nicki meant it as a compliment and it didn't go well. I very well could have, but, you know, the woman's husband had just been assassinated. Let's use a little discretion. The neck squibbed and faked offing cannot be ruled out. A lead projectile definitely did not penetrate Charlie Kirk's neck. The more you reveal, Charlie Kirk faked his offing. I don't think he faked his offing. I think he's dead. I don't think he intended to fake his offing. I think I think it's as much as I can say. I think it's all I can say. I don't think he intended to fake his offing, and I don't think he faked his offing. Was anyone able to prove Blake Neff is related to Sergeant Neff? Not that I've heard. $440,000 for an extra small personal explosive device ordered from the DOD arriving just in time. Thank you, Baron. Yeah, that's there. That contract is real, and it was delivered on August 25th, allegedly. I mean, the contract ended on August 25th. Yeah, those dates are real. What they did with it, or what it went for, I don't know. But yeah, the extra small anti-personnel device certainly existed. You're the only one who gets it. Oh, Salt and Pepper's here. Thank you. Thank you. Did I see Valhalla's crash out at the end of his show threatening to disavow Candace because of her GoFundMe page for Mitch? No, I didn't see that. I was asleep long before the end of his show. Listen, I woke up and it was still the middle of his show. I went right back to sleep. Stuff to do the next day. He's on late, man. I can watch some of it. I didn't watch the end. Are you aware of George Webb talking about a RICO lawsuit on Charlie's behalf? I've heard it. Thank you. Merry Christmas. 2026 Spring Peace. I've heard it. I just don't think he has standing. I don't think he has standing. And I don't think it's a real cause of action anyway. But I mean, RICO is a real cause of action. I don't know that it applies to Charlie Kirk's situation or to TPUSA, but I don't think Webb himself has standing. Whether others would, I don't know. The clown feet image is AI generated, designed to make them look like they would never take part in the killing because they love him so much. Maybe. I don't know that that's true. It looked like a picture to me, but I'm telling you, he's got some big old feet. This is the most compelling episode I've yet seen. Well, thank you, Freddie J. Stay tuned. It gets more compelling from here. Squib. A charge strong enough to off CK under his shirt would have blown a hole in the front of CK's shirt. The charge was only intended to create a show. Now let's investigate why Charlie Kirk wanted out. So I'll take it in order. A squib would have, if detonated properly, a squib would have penetrated his shirt in all likelihood. The charge from the microphone or the necklace, if those generated their own propulsion, might not have blown out the shirt because they would have had a different purpose. They wouldn't have just been all everywhere. It would have been a directed charge going a particular place. The last question, why Charlie Kirk wanted out, I don't know that that's my conclusion. If you feel he tensed before the shot, maybe they pulled the ground a fraction too soon, and that's him being shocked. Could be. Yeah. the timing would really have to be close. James Lee seems to be doing good work. Did you see his recent video about Eric Kirk's blood connections with the Rothsteins, Meyer Lansky, et cetera? I did. I watched that video. I like James Lee quite a bit. His 5149 is that the name of his channel? It's a good channel. I like James Lee. And I don't know what I make about it. I don't know if I draw the same conclusion, but it's good investigative work and everything needs to be talked about. EK roasted you and your guest on chest explosion and security turning knobs within her first few minutes of AmFest opening speech. Well, what is she going to do? Say guilty as charged? Are you kidding me? Like, they caught us. Well, we were going to have a nice event here at TPUSA's AmFest, but those pesky, rascally Scooby-Doo crew over on YouTube, they ripped off our mask, and lo and behold, it's Erica Crazy Mascara. I mean, come on, what's she going to do? Thank you for all you do, Baron, Candace, Ian, Jimmy Dore, Coach Colin, or 21st Century Patriots. You are spot on. God bless America. Well, thank you. To be put in a lineup of legends like that, are you kidding me? That's incredible. That is incredible. Thank you. I think you bring a really complimentary background and attitude to do this part of the internet. Really appreciate all you do. Well, thank you. Let them eat Baconators. Yes. Oh my gosh, a Baconator right now? Are you kidding me? Love a Baconator. I'm starving to death. I don't like to eat before I go on air. Starving. John, you didn't even say anything. $100. I'd let you say anything you want. I would have put anything you wanted to put up there for $100. I mean, within reason. Oh, it's not like pornographic or something. Longest day of the year here in Argentina. Merry Christmas. I just realized how geocentric my opening was. I do apologize, you Southern Hemisphereans. But isn't like 90% of the population in the Northern Hemisphere? Like, I guess, probably not. Probably like 80. But it is weird that we only attach Christmas to snow. And down there, it's like middle of the summer. That's weird. That's weird. But I guess if you grow up that way. Well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Ann Boss, 1999, I was raised Catholic, but now non-denominational. I was laughing so hard in parts of this tonight. I'm glad I could provide you a sense of humor. You're only one confession away from coming home. Ann Boss. Oh, you're back for more? I don't think you meant to hit it twice. Hey, your next comment's on the house. Or else there's a glitch. Thoughts on CK? Wasn't supposed to wear the necklace. Did he have to go and grab it? Was it the necklace that foiled the plan? Did he always wear the necklace? I think he pretty much always wore the necklace. But that's an interesting thought. Did the necklace foil the plan? I hadn't considered that. Is it hard to keep? It's hard to keep hope and faith in what's happening here in Australia. I bet, man. Australia's cooked. I feel bad for you people down there. Your government is loony. I mean, you guys are lunatics down there. Australia used to be pretty based. Like, it used to be a legitimate backup option for us Americans. Like, if things didn't work out here, we just moved to Australia. You guys are cooked. And your police have ridiculous uniforms. They look so stupid. Why all the unopened candy on the SUV floor? Remember the candy brought to Brian as a possible decoy for him to go in his pocket? It's all over the SUV floor. No, but there's poetry and throat coat all over a TPU. I don't know, man. That's a good point. I'm sure it just spilled out of somebody's pockets, or there's a bag or something that opened up. Be my guess. I mean, it's chaos. It's a guy dying in front of you. Candy's probably not the last thing you're worried about. I've never had that, though. Is it like something I can buy on Amazon? I'm going to order some right now. Can you get throat coat on Amazon? If I put this in, the Fed's going to like report me for saying ugly stuff. Throat coat lozenge. Like, am I going to get a trigger? No, you can't buy. Can you not buy them on Amazon? If you can't buy it on Amazon, I don't want it. Huh. How about that? Well, sorry, guys. I was going to buy one and try them. I'll look somewhere else. Charlie Kirk turned 32 in October 25. So in 3 years, he would have been 35 by November 28, eligible to be. You guys are so smart. You guys make me feel like an idiot sometimes. So thank you for correcting that. There's some throat coat. Oh, you can get it at Walmart, Target. I want the same brand. I want the yellow kind. I don't want any of these other weird ones. I'm gonna order that one right there. That's ginger echinacea. I don't like echinacea. Tastes weird to me. Eucalyptus mint. Now that sounds delicious. I'm ordering it. When I come on the air next time, I don't know if it'll be here by then, but before long, I'm going to give you a review of throat coat. My YouTube video is going to get flagged for saying that so many times. Let's see here. 1, Butler sealed, Trump wins, false flag. Butler sealed, Trump win, false flag. Okay, 1. 2, midterm need crisis to win. 3, Charlie Kirk, 100% for Trump. 4, Gov and TPUSA plot to rally momentum. Huachuca. You skipped 5. You went from 4 to 6. 5, Real Baron podcast is amazing. Agreed. 6, EK against idea. Sleep separate. I understand. 7, what do you know? I know everything. Oh. Okay, I see. So did Butler helped seal Trump's victory? There's no doubt about it. I mean, it got Elon on board. It really turned the tide in favor of him. No doubt about it. Do I think it was a false flag? Probably not. Do I think it was Thomas Matthew Crooks alone climbing up on the roof? No. Do I think Erica was in on it and against it? No. I certainly don't think that's why they were sleeping separate. Think they will try to do a JD Vance, Erica Kirk, Prez, and VP ticket next? I hope not. That would be weird. I'll be honest, guys. I don't like this. Like, it goes both ways, too. Like, if there's a woman, I'm going to just do it the opposite way. If there was a woman who built up this business and she was out there killing it day after day, traveling 200-300 times a year, and she understood the politics of it and how to bring everybody in, build coalitions. She was sharp as a whip out there, just answering people left and right. And she dies, and all of a sudden her husband takes over, and they're like, he should be president. What's he? He's just been sitting at home. Guy's been playing video games for 12 years. What are you talking about? Like, we're not playing GTA 5 here. Like, we're trying to govern a country. Same thing the other way. Like, squirting out a couple of units of Charlie's is not a qualification. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sure they're cute kids, but that ain't qualification to be president. No, thank you. I'll pass on that one. With Mitch's previous issues, he wouldn't have gotten by the background investigation required to get on base, which takes months. Plants are always where they're supposed to be. If he has a cat card, he can get on anyway, doesn't he? I mean, if he's retired or has a medical retirement or is a contractor, he can get on anyway. I think I don't agree with your comment there. I think, pretty sure he's an assassin is the new street lingo for said person is killing in life. Horrible choice of words. Okay, yeah, I'm willing to accept that at 46, I'm not up with the Nicki Minaj lingo. I have a problem. You're being so descriptive, painting such a clear picture. I'm not dreaming as it happens. 2 nights running, great work from a very tired fan. Well, Marty. I'll try not to be so vivid that you dream about me. Oh, you're dreaming about the story. Sorry. That's not as good. Not as good. Let's see here. Being a Democrat has nothing to do with Jesus. It's more about human and civil rights. We just wear our crosses under our shirts. Peace on earth. Look, like I said, I think you could be a single issue voter. If civil rights is your vote and you think the Republicans do a poor job of it and that's how you vote, that's fine. I disagree with your conclusion, obviously. I think on average, most of the time a Republican and Democrat run, the Republican's probably the safer bet. But I could understand occasionally that people disagree with that. I could understand that. My wife and I loved your opening statement, Crisis King. Now take care of business like a gangster, bro. We got in late, so we're at the beginning. They got in so late, they said it twice. Or they said it twice to make fun of me because I say everything twice. Oh, did I consider the government learned of the plot and pulled STK family out ahead in witness protection program? Evil still. No, I didn't, because his wife and kids aren't in the program. He's just going to go off on his own. That doesn't sound very fun. AI predicted Charlie Kirk as most likely president. JD's move. I wouldn't have voted for Charlie Kirk in a primary. I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's just almost 0% chance I would have voted for. Like I said, now maybe if he would have kept on the path he was heading, he'd have been my brand of Republican. But he was a little too concerned with Middle Eastern politics for my flavor. Just a little too concerned with Middle Eastern politics. Guys, this has been fun. This has been a fun show. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming in night after night. I'll probably be on tomorrow if I had to guess. Maybe Tuesday, but towards the middle end of the week with Christmas and everything, it's gonna be tough for me to get on the air. Obviously Wednesday and Thursday are probably out, Christmas Eve and Christmas. And I'll probably come back maybe Friday after that. So maybe tomorrow and Friday, or Tuesday and Friday, maybe at the worst case scenario. But I encourage you. I mean, like I said, look, I dubbed the investigative night. So go out and investigate, get out there and figure this stuff out. Send me leads, send Ian leads, send Candace leads, send Valhalla leads, send Ryan Madden, Blake Bednards, Triggersmart, Jon Bray, send everybody leads. And when you tune in, I'll do my best to keep you informed and entertained. That's my promise. I will not fire up the microphone unless I got something to say. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Whether you know it or not, Jesus loves you.